Now we're live.
Now we're live.
Wow, everybody say it at the same time.
We just did.
Do I need a? Who watches the paramedics?
That's right.
Who watches them?
Well,
Who watches the Watchmen?
Who watches the Watchmen paramedics?
Oh, I'm not a
We're
paramedic
not
yet.
paramedics. We're
I am
EMTs.
amazed. D&D
But what-
Beyond fills in all of the boxes that
Yeah,
I
they-
always ignore.
Yeah, I love
Right?
D&D.
I
Yeah.
had no idea how much I could push, drag, lift. Now I do.
Push, drag, lift?
Yeah.
How much can you push, drag, lift?
300 pounds.
That's heavy.
Wow.
I don't know that it's that heavy.
by the way, your is One Wise One Monkey your wife?
Yes.
Okay, she's just sad
Don't
that
talk
there was
about-
no harmony.
Don't talk
I
about my
am
wife that way.
married to the monkey.
Also, hey everybody.
Hi, Eric.
I don't really know how we
Ember Cecilia 7.
I'd like to let everybody
Never
here
saw it.
know one wise monkey chose me above all other men. Everybody makes mistakes.
Oh.
Everybody,
Everybody
has
has
days.
bad days.
Everybody has bad days. Dun dun dun.
Can we
Everybody's
play?
hearing the notifications as my computer tries to download stuff because it didn't save
Didn't save what?
the files that I keep dropping over. Colin and I have been having this issue with the soundboard. not saving
files.
stuff.
Oh.
Not
Hey,
my
look, somebody's teaching us
file.
how to do push, pull, drag. That sounds like a show Corey would go to.
Yeah.
Push, pull, drag.
Oh my God. That's a show that I'm going to be in
Push,
charge
pull,
of.
drag.
Push, pull, drag.
I think
Is it going to be like
I want-
drag queens
that
in
needs to-
strength contest?
Yes.
No, no, that
Yes.
needs that needs to be no. It needs to be a D&D cosplay drag queen event.
Yes.
Are you going to run a GM game for us, Corey, where we're all drag queens?
If you guys let me put you in drag, I
Oh,
will
well,
run
hold
any
on,
game
hold
you
on.
want.
I've got it.
This is the world of imagination.
I've
Remember
got it.
that.
I've got
it.
it.
will be beautiful.
I've
You
got
put it out there, Chris.
I'll only
I've been
put-
in drag. You do not want to see me in drag.
I've seen you in
No.
drag and it was great.
Oh, God,
I've got
no.
it. American Drag Gladiator.
Done.
By the way, my
Yes.
body's big enough; it creates enough drag on its own.
Nah.
I hate you. Just kidding. That was a great joke.
You know what the best part is?
What?
He's
Now I
got
know why the
sounds.
files are gone. Someone is going into your
No,
computer.
no, no.
and
You want
manually
to
deleting them.
know what's great? Everything I'm about to click is Phil here.
Oh.
Can you just play one of those grunts over and over again? See how long it takes for us all to become uncomfortable.
How did you find all the grunts? You just always save the
Colin.
grunts.
Well, no,
How did
so
you find them? How did he get the normal language through them?
Yeah.
So Colin edits the other show.
Yeah.
And he was editing out all of them, and you know how I say it's the same buttons to delete, also save.
Nice.
Yep.
By the way, if you're wanting the harmony,
Welcome.
It's not perfect, but I still love it.
Yeah. I can tell you where it went wrong. It was right around here.
Were you there that
well,
time?
no, I think it was Randy was here for that because that was when we were recording
Oh.
Star Trek. I think
Okay.
But hey, your
that
wife.
was when you were off
Star
in Never
Wars?
Neverland.
Yeah, she really
No, no,
likes
no, Star
your
Trek.
your
wife
drag
could teach
idea.
us
Did we record
now.
that? We
Yeah.
did record
Yeah,
that.
we did record.
No,
that.
Oh,
she
because
does
of the
the
That was the
sing.
100th
Yeah.
Yeah,
episode.
maybe.
That's right.
Sandy, teach us how to sing
Through text.
through text. Oh man, one day
One day.
we'll do a musical
One day
episode.
more.
Another day, another destiny.
Destiny.
We've been upstaged.
We have.
Were you ever planning to be not
Oh,
upstage?
God, no.
Oh no,
This is my voice inflection.
it's
Are
beautiful.
are you here 2 weeks from today?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, you're gonna find out on Friday.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Oh. 3,000.
3,000
Are there
pounds.
humans who can lift 3,000 pounds?
Superman.
So about
I don't
Superman
know.
on
There
that
He's
are
stuff.
humans who
Kryptonian,
can
okay.
Pull that, right? People pull
Oh.
trains and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
On
she said
wheels,
lift.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would say, do you
Yeah.
even lift, bro?
I don't think 3,000. No.
You get enough velocity in a
we
dense
listen to
enough
that?
environment, you can produce enough lift.
Can we?
I still say anything can lift if you have enough thrust behind it.
That's right.
We need
I'm
to
sure
listen to that again.
I'm sure
'cause that was
somebody's
just, that
like
was great.
deadlifted 1,000 pounds, but
Yeah.
no.
3K's
Not 3,000.
Yeah, but we're heroes, right?
ton.
So
It's
we,
over
so we
a
get
ton.
max
Yeah,
health, right?
1.5
Yeah,
tons.
No, we
exactly.
get max
Phil.
strength.
Oh, yeah, it's 2K.
Max
isn't
strength
it?
We're
for
trying to
sure.
lift that much.
Well,
we need
but
extra
max
strength.
health is derived off of... No, that's
That's
Constitution.
Constitution. That's your ability to eat a bad tomato.
I feel like strength doesn't do that much for you in D&D because
Gotta
it's
look
like
up
what
the-
grapple and athletics. Oh, and it's your damage.
It's literally, it's literally just grapple and athletics.
Chris,
and then punchy.
I think my next D&D character needs to be somebody who can lift, pull, push 3,000 pounds, and is just at like a -4 for everything else.
I think that'd be
You
great.
do the point buy, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
just do 8 for everything, and
Yeah.
then just like, well, actually 20 is the highest you can go. I
We
think.
can
So-
And a
forego
point
that
buy.
with,
I'd like an
internal
over.
rules.
I'd like an over under on how long it takes Chris to ask if he can fly because he has so much left.
Okay. All
Well,
right, so
To be
the-
fair, like his is
To be fair.
his legs would be so strong he'd just go. "Whoop."
That's right. I would
That's true.
essentially be the Incredible Hulk, right?
Gorgeous.
Fail at everything else.
You know what you'd
but-
have to
Yeah.
do then is you'd have to get like some sort of wingsuit so that when you jump up in the air, then you glide back down.
Yeah.
But that would require dexterity.
like a flying squirrel.
We put the rest of the team. I just carry them and jump from place to place. This works.
What
All
were you
right,
gonna say
the
about
world record
for lifty lifts?
deadlift is held by Eddie Hall.
Ooh.
Is that the mountain?
500 kilograms.
Now you
So
have to convert
that's-
it.
1,102.3 pounds.
That's a lot.
So
What
He
it's
about,
like-
also owns the partial deadlift world record at 1,181.7
So it's like a
pounds.
third of what their
so,
character.
But wait,
But
question.
there's a world
what's-
record squat
Oh,
performed by Jonas Rantanen
Phil after a late
of
night of drinking.
Finland. A
Finland.
squat of 1,268 pounds.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
I bet
cray-cray.
they had to wear those suits that compress all your muscles so they don't like pop out of your body.
Probably.
Hey, question: Is there
Spandex?
is there a record for an alive lift?
Nah.
Where's
Play
the?
it.
Where's
Play
the?
it.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
No,
Oh,
the other
success.
one.
There we go.
Oh.
You mean the one where you go?
I
There you go.
That's a tuba.
I acknowledge your joke. I acknowledge that it was funny.
Can you play that
and,
again?
I acknowledge it was funny to you.
Fail.
Yo, that tuba has a beautiful timbre. That person was supporting with the diaphragm. I'm impressed.
All right. What are we talking about today on
Yeah.
I haven't started the show
Hey, Mr.
yet.
Mr.
What are you
Chris,
talking
what
about? Are we not
talking about
live?
today?
We're live, but I gotta play the intro bits.
Well, it's technically
Oh.
the show.
We
then,
need
right?
we need blooper reels.
This is blooper reel stuff. Come on now.
Fart, fart, fart. That was my blueberry.
There you go.
No, but you gotta be
We're
like
gonna have
that.
to be
You gotta be like that total tool
Snappier
from
on these
Superstore.
sound effects.
Well, it's further away. I don't have it like up here.
Excuses.
Colin said, "Not so easy, is it?"
Colin
it?
forgets why I let him be in charge of the soundboard because of that fact.
I don't think he forgot it. I think he was judging you from a
Yeah.
distance.
just
From
like
a
the computers at a
distance.
distance.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. Oh,
Dad.
that's probably your son, not your wife.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, buddy.
Whoa, where are you from again? Which part of Virginia?
Ah,
His son is.
I love you, honey, no matter what the rest of the family says.
You can get a Belt of the Storm Giant strength, getting your strength to 29. Be a Bear Totem Goliath at level 6 to quadruple the mod.
Holy
so it would be
crap!
Ember Cecilia, you are great at the math.
Celica.
Celica. Oh, well, oops. Also, though, I'm pretty sure they're a power gamer. just gonna make an assumption.
This is my people's.
Reducing your speed down to 5 feet.
Yeah.
Who cares? You don't need speed of 5 feet. Just jump.
Or just throw everything.
I can't walk more than 5 feet, but I can leap.
What you do is you grab the monk and you chuck the monk at whatever you're trying.
That's true.
Because
You
then
just need to be a halfling that has all that, so someone can just pick you up and throw you.
Yes.
Gnome bomb.
Oh,
Were you
there we
saying-
go. I'll be
Were
in,
you saying
yeah.
throw the monk because no one can hit the monk? Like the
Exactly.
AC is good? Yeah, gotcha.
All right.
Good night. Okay,
Night, buddy.
we ready?
All right. Starting the show in 3, 2, 1. This podcast is sponsored by Easy Roller Dice. Go check out their great gaming accessories by going to easyrollerdice.com. Welcome to the Dirtbags of Holding, episode number 129. Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Dirtbags of Holding. This is an podcast where we're not actual playing tonight. We're talking RPGs and goofing off at the same time. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw.
What's going on, everybody? I am Philip.
I'm Chris.
Hi, howdy, hello. My name is Corey.
I'm Jimmy, and I will not be goofing off.
Yes, I will.
That's a load of crap.
Get the f- out.
How did you get this job?
Wait, you get paid?
Yeah, we have two things. We goof around. and
Oh,
we
then
answer
I am
questions.
leaving.
Now he's serious.
I pay you in entertainment.
I was paid in easy roller dice.
That's
That
true.
too.
That's true. She's not wrong.
That is true.
Hey, and we did that one sponsored thing that we ended up
That's right.
helping our hotel cost at Gen Con the one
That's
time.
Yep,
right.
yep.
There you go.
That one time with the thing and the
I
stuff.
almost
And
forgot about
Not
that.
to mention the Gen Con press room with the coffee.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
that coffee
That's
saves
right.
my life
So much
every year.
All right, so we got a couple things to talk about today. Starting off, this was just some stuff that I found in the news that you may
Bye,
or
Colin.
may not find interesting. But first thing is, you guys have heard me and talk about Monte Cook games before.
No.
You know, I like the Numeneras and stuff.
You don't say.
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Bruce
But-
rolls a 1.
However, I'm like
mean-
the only person that actually likes the cipher system. Like everybody else, when we played it, was just kind of like, it's okay, but you know.
Yeah.
You're obsessed. I remember specifically being like, the art. I love the art. Have you seen the art? How's the art? Still good?
Yeah, still
Yeah.
good. Well, it's amazing.
It's pretty.
But they're making a 5e book now
Right.
Interesting.
where you can actually play some of the they're not officially saying it's Numenera but in 5e, but it basically kind of is, where you can
Gotcha.
take kind of the stuff. It even includes things like ciphers.
Okay.
Supposed to be, at least, but it's on Kickstarter right now. It's called Arcana of the Ancients.
You want to
So this-
explain what a cipher is?
Cipher, well, in Numenera, cipher is like one-use powerful artifacts
There you go.
that
Mm.
are like one-time powers.
Right.
Is
So
this
that'll-
kind of like a
It's a magical item that you can use once.
Yeah.
So
once,
essentially, is
Just
this like a
burns up?
Part of the reason I
modded-
hate it.
Is
I
this
can't plan.
Oh, that's true.
I guess the point is you're supposed to find a ton of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that was
so- go
that
ahead.
was the best part of the Numenera thing. We're just like, I'm picking things up and just throwing them
Yeah.
at them. I don't know what they do. You just happen to have a rocket launcher. Cool.
It shoots squirrels.
No rockets, though.
Yeah.
Dang. But so it's a modded 5e.
Yeah, it's a 5e book that allows you to run science fantasy style slash fantasy kind of
So
games.
it's like a source book for 5e.
It is. Yep.
Okay.
Were
Cool.
So
so were people not happy with the original mechanic? Is that why they?
I have a feeling it's more to broaden their audience.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes sense.
exactly
Because
what it is.
it's like they've made a lot of cipher system stuff. So there's people that have that. But there's a lot of people like, I like that game, but I don't want to learn a new system, or I can't get my group to learn a new system,
Yeah.
or
Or people
whatever.
start
Just
at
people
D&D.
like D&D.
Yeah.
Or they'll find this as a out of the box thing for 5e, and they'll say, "What is this? This is interesting.
Yeah.
What else does Monte Cook do? Oh, they got a whole game for this."
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Like there's people that will get it just because it says 5e compatible, and then
Is it when's it come out?
I don't know when the day. It's still on Kickstarter right now. I
Ugh.
believe it's like a year from now is when they usually do their Kickstarter. It's like fulfillment's like a year after the Kickstarter.
And they've
Awesome.
done Kickstarters before, right?
Oh,
They're-
yeah.
They're pretty good with those.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, everything's usually on track. I think I'm waiting on one thing right now: the revised Cipher System core rulebook.
Yeah, you got to be careful on Kickstarter, but these guys are a bigger group, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah, yeah. They're I think they said it's like their 13th, 14th Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
something like
So-
that.
They know what they're doing.
You might know a little bit about this. Someone in our chat has said, "All I want is a urban fantasy book that's not Shadowrun for 5e."
Mm.
That exist?
Urban fantasy, but not Shadowrun.
Because I know
Yeah.
like urban
Blades in the
shadows
Dark.
exist, Blades in the Dark, but they're
Alright.
They're not
But it's
5e.
not 5e.
Oh, 5e.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are
I
we
gotcha.
like currently playing a fantasy urban environment?
Kinda.
Well, it depends. Are they wanting something that's more Shadowrun-y? Like if you're wanting
Yeah, I
more
think-
science fiction-y.
I think it's not Shadowrun, so it's opposite. Well,
Well,
Shadowrun
meaning,
also
like,
threw everything together.
meaning
Meaning they want a
Shadowrun-
mixture of technology and magic.
Yeah. If that's the case, then you may want to go look at the because there might be enough where you could, you know how like what we do where you grab things and kind of blend.
Yeah.
That this may offer enough of the science fiction aspects that you could tweak it and like, oh, instead of the setting be the past, the setting's the present or the
Right.
future.
Right.
Talking about Ravnica?
No, you could do it for
Ravnica or
Ravnica,
Arcana.
That's
but
what
I
I'm
was
saying.
talking
Oh.
the Monica game book.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Meaning,
Yeah.
if it's got the things for more sciencey things, you could
Yeah.
just tweak the background setting and probably make
Yeah.
it work.
And it's more work, but you could potentially go down that path on your own, even if you wanted to homebrew something, right? Make a ranger into a gunslinger, right? And
Right.
work along the same kind of paths
That
of
would
skills.
be cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This book would have a lot of that work done
Yeah.
for you. You would just have to
Right.
do maybe minor tweaks on like your story. I would think most of the tweaks might be more narrative based than
Yeah.
like mechanics based. If you were to do something like that, I'd put it in the chat room right now. But I know Ember Sucka follows me on Twitter.
Yeah.
If they just send me a text or send me a tweet, and I can get that link to you. I should.
Noise. So,
uh,
Chris, what is the Dresden book that you got? Is that Gumshoe?
Kinda. So anybody who's not familiar,
Dresden is Fate.
yes,
Oh, is it?
right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about game system. Yeah,
Yeah.
game system is Fate for,
Yeah.
for Dresden. Yeah. And if you haven't read the Harry Dresden books or any of that stuff, it's a great series. So it's definitely one of
Should.
those things. It's got an awesome world.
That's one of those book series I keep meaning to, but anytime I have to read is RPG books.
RPG.
Nope.
Yeah.
Audible, man. I listen to that crap going back and forth to work. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I've
Ashley might listen
read
to it with
so many
you
books.
because evidently you two told me that the Dresden books are narrated by the actor who played Spike in Buffy.
Yes.
So she might be
he-
like, okay.
He does a great. he does a great job. at it, too.
James Marsters.
Marston.
James Marsters.
Mars-
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But does he
Absolutely.
do it
yeah,
Mars.
okay.
Does he read in a British accent or his normal?
He's Southern.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you meant like which one does he do?
Does he read
which
with his
one does
Spike
he do?
voice? Or
I think he reads it in its normal voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not
Still though, so
Oh,
I listen
any
to
book is good.
I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and the authors who change their inflection, and you can tell which character they're talking by the tone of voice and what they're.
Yeah.
Those are the guys who are
Yeah.
amazing.
The
So Sandra and
cream of the
I
crop.
actually have a list of a couple of authors that we really, really enjoy, and we found all sorts of new crazy series just saying, hey, we know this guy's going to read this book well. Let's see what else he's done. And we found all sorts of great stuff.
That's
doing
What
that.
I'm
Awesome.
hearing is I need to get Audible to sponsor the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
are you kidding me? Heck yeah.
Because if so, that was a great read for them.
Yeah.
Um,
So Audible will make great ads.
So I got a couple other things, but I'll jump to another one I wanted to talk about is that Hasbro announced that they're coming out with a Stranger Things box set for D&D.
What?
Really?
Hasbro?
Yeah. Hasbro. Well,
Has Hasbro been in this?
Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast,
oh.
which does D&D.
Yes.
So at one of the New York Tour Fair was about 3 weeks ago or so, and yeah, they're going to come out with a box set for D&D that's Stranger Things. That is the game they're running in the first season of Stranger Things. It's that adventure with the Demogorgon and
That'd be cool.
Okay.
I do want to say that not the last time, but the time before that, it sounded like you said Stranger Thins.
Yeah, that'd be a
which
great game.
Sounded like a Girl Scout cookie.
Or a
Ooh,
game.
a Halloween themed Girl
There
Scout
you
cookie,
go,
right?
right?
A
Stranger
game-
Things.
A Stranger Thing.
That's right.
I want a game
It'll
where
take you to
everyone
another
is
world.
strangely thin.
Strangely.
Why
thin.
are you so skinny? Let's play this game.
Where you just walk around and try to hand people cake. They're like, no, I shouldn't. Yes,
No.
you should.
You are
Aw.
strangely thin.
Oh, that'd be such a sad way to be described.
Isn't that called Hollywood?
Oh.
Sometimes.
Isn't that?
Strangely thin.
Yep.
Photoshop.
There's a delay. Even after I hit it, there's a delay.
When that first
You need to
starts,
give
it
me that button,
sounds
right?
like. Is it just me or does it sound like the horn of Gondor? Like the bup bup. Super low.
Sort of, yeah.
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 So yeah, coming
Corey's
soon.
gone off the rails.
I don't know. I don't
What is
know if
rail?
there's a release day yet, but yeah, you'll be able to play through the adventure that I think it even has like the player characters
Nice.
as
Yeah.
the pre-made sheets.
So is it that story of Stranger Things, or is it the game they were playing
The
in
game
the
they
basement?
were playing in the
Oh,
basement.
Yeah, that's cool. All
yeah.
right.
So like the Demogorgon is one of the monsters you end up fighting. And
It's
stuff.
probably gonna echo Stranger Things. Like they have the
Probably
mind
because
flayer.
they didn't there was like 1 or 2 encounters, but that was about it.
Yeah.
So they'd
That'd
have
be
to
great.
flesh it out some.
Cool.
And with that, let's go to our topic, which was kind of based off of me thinking about this as I was doing it. And that's kind of how do I get started making an adventure? And kind of this, I want from the standpoint of before you get into the minutia of actually laying out, you know, your 3-step plot or whatever you're going to do. Kind of, hey, I want to GM, DM, whatever it is. Where do I go from here? I've never DM'd or GM'd before. What should I do?
Step 1, what are you interested in?
Yeah.
There's that.
So-
Also, step 2, what is your group interested in?
Yes, true.
Touche.
Yes.
So I
Or
would
1A.
say do not underestimate a session 0 or even a session -1 from the aspect of coming to your group and saying, dude, guys, I want to run a game. I'm thinking of a fantasy game, or I'm thinking of a Shadowrun game, or I'm thinking of whatever else. Is anybody interested, right?
Yep.
Try to pick source material you're interested in,
Yeah.
especially if you're the GM, right?
Yeah.
Because you being interested is what keeps everybody else interested. You're making the story. If you suddenly don't care about the story anymore and you're getting tired of it, it's going to reflect in the rest of the game. So pick
That would
something
suck.
that you're passionate about if you can.
Also, if you're very, very new to it and not comfortable about it, there's nothing wrong with pre-made adventures.
Oh,
Oh yeah, they rock.
I've only done pre-made.
Exact-
Well,
like,
that's not entirely true, but
We've done a lot of
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we have a
It-
lot of DM experience, but even when we were starting 5th edition, it was like, I don't know about this. Let's do a pre-made adventure.
Yeah.
You just
And I
add
died.
your own stuff into it.
If you want to
Oh.
Not
try
that
it,
pre-made
Oh,
adventure.
not that pre-made
Yeah.
adventure. Okay, gotcha.
if you want to try it out, don't be afraid of a one-shot either. Right?
That's good
Yeah.
too.
Look up a couple of free ones online and just read through it. It'll be a small handful of pages, and just wrap your head around kind of how things flow together, and then just try it out. Sit around the table for a couple of hours, goof off. If you go off the rails, great, right? That's a fantastic thing. If you stick to it and just push your way through, assess what's going on afterwards, right? Talk with your friends what they liked and didn't like, and make mistakes. Make mistakes, learn from things, and push on. It's all about having fun.
Yeah.
I'd also.
It's-
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead. You
I was
go.
going to just say, going along with that, with the going off the rails, sometimes my favorite bits have been where it goes off the rails on a pre-written adventure, because sometimes because I'm not having to worry about writing the thing, my brain can go elsewhere of what else is happening. So when somebody says, oh, hey, I'm doing this, I can introduce something new.
Yeah.
If you're the DM and your players ask for something absolutely freaking crazy, don't
Do it.
immediately say no. Think about it, and if you can roll with it, figure out how, right? Don't have to give them everything they're looking for. One thing I like to do is twist things around on them so they're expecting one outcome, and maybe that's not what they get.
Oh, gee, really? You do that? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, a little
How
bit.
rude.
But half of the fun of being a GM is what terrifies most new GMs, and that is just making stuff up.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you need to understand that you are the lord of that universe, right? And your players are entering your game to have a good time. Don't punish them for trying to think outside the box, but understand that you and your players are all telling a story. And you may think where it's going in the end, it doesn't have to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it needs to go there because that's what's pre-planned, there's always the curve route back, right?
There's a podcast called the RPG Academy, and their catch line is, and it's so tacky, but it's true, and that is, if you're having fun, you're doing it right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, hey, John.
Hi.
John gets extra cool shout outs because he's one of our patrons.
Ah, hi, John.
John.
Oh,
John.
John.
John. What's up? I was gonna say, talking about new games, you might want to look into different types of mechanics, because if you have a group that is more narratively focused,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna like a game that gives them a little bit more room to do narrative things.
Now, when you say a more narrative-focused game, you're talking about games other than D&D, which seem to be more combat-ish focused.
So when I say combat, Yeah.
I know what you mean, but just in case someone who doesn't know.
Yeah. So there are games that are more combat, and they're considered crunchy. So those are games where you're going to be counting your ammo, you're going to be counting your survival stuff, like bringing your rations with you, where's your water, and you can do that in D&D, but you're going to be focused on that in the 40K games.
Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, Warhammer 40K. What else is really crunchy? We've only played a couple of them because we like narrative games.
Shadowrun is that way.
BattleTech.
I was gonna
BattleTech.
say based on the character sheet,
Yeah,
BattleTech.
BattleTech.
Yeah.
GURPS is
Yeah.
also very known for that.
That character sheet's a math test.
And I don't think it's a bad game system.
No.
I think a lot of people
Some people like that.
mechanical.
Yeah.
And narrative, I think, to start, if you don't have people that are maybe not necessarily extroverted, but people who can think on their feet and are excited to sort of create a story, it can be really intimidating to start with a narrative-focused game.
Sure.
I am going to give another shout-out to Fantasy Flight, Star Wars Fantasy Flight RPG, which is my favorite. And I feel like you need to add some sort of editing moment every time Jimmy and I mention it, like maybe a wind chime. Because I think it's a perfect narrative crunchy combo. Like you can get an advantage to do. I'm not going to go into the details, but it's a good one to start with.
It's not a sole pass fail.
It's a you fail your task, but something great happens during that failure.
And this
or
failure
you
got more
pass,
threatening.
Yeah, you pass your test, but now the entire base knows exactly where you are. They're coming right for you.
And honestly, I think that's a great gateway game for GMs as well, because it gets you out of the mentality of, all right, this is the regimented list of actions that need to occur. We're moving the pieces like a chessboard into the, hey, this is what the environment that's happening. We're shooting this, and things are happening in the environment that are getting effects to what's going on. And so you're less focused on moving one character point to point, more focused on what's going on in the overall environment.
Yep. And there's more social skills.
And
which is
another notch on the Star Wars is that, unlike if you're a person that has played a lot of RPGs, they have the Star Wars starter boxes, which are great for learning the system, are terrible if you've been experienced, because they're very railroaded. Like your players will go here next, they go here that next.
Yeah,
but
you get a set of dice. You get the little pog things for bad guys. It's a great way to start if you don't have a lot of resources.
Right, but it's also a great way to start if you don't have played a lot of RPGs or very new to the system, because the one thing it does do is handhold you through, okay, in this encounter we're not going to worry about this, we're just going to worry about the basic die rolls. In this one we're actually going to take into account movement. They kind of gradually, the L5R one did this too. The starter box kind of starts you with the kind of core mechanic, and then we're going to add in other stuff. Okay, now your players flip the page and they get the full access of abilities and stuff.
I love that. A core box is nice to learn a new system.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a million things to remember.
Oh yeah. And if you're wanting to stick with D&D, Philip cracks about it, but the beginner's box of you can't go wrong with the starter box of D&D.
Just don't investigate the horse. That's all I'm saying.
Just a pro tip. Just a little
pro tip.
Don't investigate the horse.
So let's say somebody that wants to DM a game doesn't know any RPG systems. What game would you suggest that it's possibly the least rules heavy? Because even D&D, even though it's just D20 basically does everything, can be very rules heavy. What would you suggest?
Honestly, that's a very dependent answer.
Yeah.
Because if they have a leaning towards a specific genre, like if they're a Star Wars fan, that makes it easy because you know the universe. It's just what's the rule structure for this.
Right.
But if it's someone maybe that's, say, a board gamer, I would kind of go Fiasco.
Yeah.
I like Fiasco.
Why would you say Fiasco for board gamer?
Well, because there's a lot of dice rolling and that sort of thing.
Okay.
I would argue if you're a board gamer, there are a couple of
board
games that I would consider as pretty much entry-level RPGs, right?
Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
If you look at Gloomhaven would be an example, except that's super expensive. But
there's a bunch of D&D board games
there are
that
a bunch
are
of D&D
basically
ones.
the D&D rule set.
Now, granted, that gives you the dungeon crawl portion, right? So if you're looking for the stuff above and beyond that, it's good to understand kind of the mechanics of how things go together. But if you want the overarching story and you want some more control power, there's nothing saying you can't start with a board game and then go from there.
Yeah.
Right?
So Fiasco, back to...
But Fiasco's also great if you're wanting to dip your toes into the GMing, and especially if somebody, you're not the normal GM, because it kind of gets you into that GM mindset of setting up scenes without you having to be the only person. Like in our group, if it was someone like Phil's not Phil has GM for us before, but like if he was starting out new, the rest of us have GM'd a lot. Fiasco's a good place to start because he doesn't have to be wholly responsible for the story.
Yeah.
I find Fiasco really intimidating.
Yeah,
like,
I find
like
it
the game a
intimidating,
lot.
too.
Which one's Fiasco again?
Fiasco's the one where there is no GM and there's the die that you like give a person a die to.
You start the game off declaring your relationships with
Yeah.
certain people.
Okay.
and
You're
whatever.
writing
Gotcha.
a movie.
You're
It's-
making a Coen Brothers movie.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
So you
I'm there.
you start out with a script that's like you're in the news channel or you guys are all in a zoo,
Right.
and then
I remember the
you're
book
right.
now.
And everything's going to go badly.
Then
I'm
there's
there.
a twist in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
kind of with you, Corey. I think Fiasco leaves it almost open-ended a little too much for
Yeah.
somebody who's brand
Yeah.
new. I
And
would
it's- yeah,
I would
it's-
try to pick something
I
that has
caveated
less
it. I said if you're
variables.
not normally the GM,
Gotcha.
Sure.
like if you're in a group of people that play but you don't normally
Okay.
GM.
All right, that's
That makes
fair.
total
10
That's fair.
candles. No.
No, to be honest,
Yeah.
that's where I was going because
Yeah.
10 Candles is no prep, right? The GM and the team make up the story as they go along and they have no idea what the bad guy is going to be in the end, but you have to be ready for that type of game, right? Because 10
You do.
Candles is as intense as you make it. And it's one of my favorite games because of it, because
Yeah.
I'm an atmospheric player, right? I like setting that environment and it forces you to
It
set
does.
the creepy environment.
It
and I
does.
love it.
If you haven't played 10 Candles, you start in a dark room with 10 candles lit around a bowl, and you essentially have like an item that you've written down, a secret, something else, and when you use it narratively, you burn it. And then after the end of each day,
Yeah, you play in the dark.
And every time you fail a dice roll, a candle goes out.
Yeah.
When all the candles go out, the party dies.
and
Yep,
you're
so-
all in a black room.
So you know when you go into this that the character that you just made is great, and you have control over them, and the players around you, or one of the players around you, knows a secret about you, right?
Mhm.
But basically, the overarching stories for 10 Candles is 10 days ago the sky went dark, and nobody knows why, and something like that. A week ago, something like that. The sky went dark, nobody knows why. 3 days ago, something like that, they started coming out. You got no idea who they are. When you start the game, the GM doesn't know who they are either.
Right.
One of the players actually writes one thing they know about them. And then as you progress through the story, you start bringing them in more and more. And by that time, the GM's had plenty of time to mull it over and kind of figure out what shape they are going to take.
Yeah.
And it could be anything. It could be rabid squirrels, right? It doesn't matter, but you end up making a collective narrative story, and I love that about that game.
Yep. It's a lot like Fiasco, but I feel like you have a little more buy-in at the
Yeah,
beginning.
the problem with that though is if you are a brand new, that can be intimidating in that since it's very rules light, it almost has the same problem as you were talking about with Fiasco of it can be very intimidating to somebody to
In that it's too much improvisation.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
And that's what my fear is with narrative games. So
Yeah.
we're trying to find a good middle line between narrative and crunchy.
Right. So I think this brings us back to using pre-made adventures, which I think is a great
yeah.
first step into GMing, and it's something I would always suggest, even if you're an experienced GM with not a lot of time to make your own adventure. Because I made my own one-shot once, and even that took like weeks of design just for a couple-hour experience.
Was that the Gen Con game or just something
It
else?
was a Witcher game.
No,
we played.
it was a Witcher like one-shot, but that I played in D&D 5e. So
It was fun.
So one thing that you'll notice about GMs is as they get better, the less they write down,
Yeah.
right? So overarching, every GM needs to understand the direct path of their story from the perspective of we're starting here, in the middle this stuff's going to happen, and in the end this is the boss or whatever we're going to encounter.
Right.
And then the path between those points, right, can either be heavily regimented, which is what new GMs do and what prefab campaigns kind of help out with, right? It gives you all the structure that you need in order to step through it so you don't have to come up with anything. Or once you get better and once you get more experience, you find your own path with your group in there, and you
Yeah.
can go off.
I would say you don't find the path.
Well-
the group finds the path. You just get to.
But a good,
No,
but a good
the-
GM steers the group back
Yeah.
without them even
Yeah.
knowing.
The group finds the path, understands that the path is clearly marked, says screw the path, and then they go off to the right.
And then the GM is like, okay, so where you were originally going to end up when you could have taken a right, it's just going to be the ending on the left.
But what that means is, hey, this game, what I needed him to do was to talk to this lady over here to get this critical information for the next step.
Yeah.
Well, they decided they're not going to go to her house. They're going over to this shop. Okay, well, guess what? Guess who's in the shop now? The lady they need to talk to, right?
Yeah.
It's all fluid. Just because it's written in the book or just because you expected them to go left and they went right doesn't necessarily mean the story has to change because they don't know what was already planned. Roll with the punches, right? Stick the lady wherever you need her, and then they still get that information. They still push on. The players didn't know any different.
Yeah.
Yep.
What
Except for
games
that
did
one time
everyone-
you were really mad at us because we killed a guy, and you were like, you needed to talk to him.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
was that?
fine.
That was the
Fine,
lizard,
now you got to
right?
talk to that guy.
Wasn't it the lizard?
Because we
I don't
chain
even
lightning them
remember.
all.
Yeah.
There was like a lizard that came up to us in our sleep or something, Lizard Man, and it was like, oh, we were supposed to talk to him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like the first thing Randy and I did, we both woke up and we were like, fireball,
Powerful
lightning.
spells.
Yeah. I was like, this guy's being nice to you, and you're
Why are you
frying him.
killing
Why are
him?
you frying him?
Oh, that game, none of us were the right alignment.
I don't know what
It's
you're
all
talking
good.
about.
Okay, you were...
That is another thing that I will say. Your session 1, your session 0, try to set a general alignment for your group. If you have evil players playing with good players, they're going to hate each other.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's an advanced game kind of thing. to
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
to have misalignment characters, that yes,
You
that's
can
an
do it.
advanced thing.
But it's going to be rough.
It's a way better game if you get everybody, at least have everybody agree to play neutral, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you can make you can make decisions on either way. Fact of the matter is, if you go good or go bad, you can still make decisions on the other end of the spectrum, right? We'll just all scratch our head and say, okay, I guess, and then push down that path.
Or you need to give that person who is not matching the alignment a really good reason to be there. Like, these guys have your soul in a lantern, and you got to get it back. Something crazy.
Good old soul lanterns.
Good old soul lanterns. They're pretty cool. I've had a lot of thoughts lately about souls.
Is it a
being
lantern
in-
that, like, when you open it up, it just plays like soul music out of
Yes.
it?
Ella Fitzgerald.
It's blue.
No, I was just thinking
Sounds
about the nut thing that you brought up in our last D&D game, where there's like a little light that comes out.
Oh yeah.
Were you there for that?
Yeah, I was there for that.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
convinced that it's the souls of the tiny woodland
Yeah.
animals.
And by all means, play with critical failures. They are so much fun,
The
right?
best.
Critical failures make the best experiences that you're probably going to have in your campaign, and that's completely made up off the rails.
Especially when they're multiples, like right after the other.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, one of the best critical failures gave me like the best character attribute of all time.
The
The
fear of
squirrel.
squirrels or
The-
whatever
yeah.
it was, right?
Yep.
The unnatural hatred of
Yep.
squirrels. Like,
that
that's
became
the
that was
best.
an ongoing thing.
Oh,
Oh,
that was
yeah?
the best.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's what makes these games memorable. Your friends remember those failures more than they remember what the hell they were doing on that campaign.
Like, oh, we fought a dragon. Yeah, that was stupid.
So to get
But
back
they're
on
squirrels.
on track, what should we do?
What about? I was gonna go to Phil because Phil, out of all of us, is probably the newest GM.
Okay.
So what kind of tips would you have for someone starting out?
You guys took them all. That's the problem.
How dare you?
Right? Yeah.
What did you learn from Star Trek?
I mean,
Well, but
in Star Trek, like I had everything printed out.
Yeah.
All right, and it gave me a good, the squirrels remember me too. Yeah. It gave me because that gave me a nice guideline. These pre-made adventures. But the games got derailed by the second page of the second act on both adventures.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I just had to start making stuff up on the fly. But it was, we created a race of cyborgs.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
Nice ones or mean ones?
huh. We have no idea.
Oh.
Yeah, some race. They downloaded all of their consciousnesses into
Conchai.
into a large computer, basically into a giant hard drive. And we were like, oh, thing's got like 10 days before it fries itself. Let's make them new bodies. And I was like, okay, roll for it.
Montage.
Yeah.
Where are you getting these bodies?
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. We're gonna make a copy of Data.
Well, but
whatever.
one of the things like you did when you were before you ran the things at Gen Con is you actually grabbed two of our guys,
Yep.
like Mike and Chris, and sat them down. Like originally it was you were going to run it for them, but then it ended up being more of just a kind of a coaching session of people that weren't in the game, but you could sit down and run through. Like I don't know what happened because I was downstairs practicing myself.
Because you were running your own game.
Yeah.
Well, it was that was where I got a lot of the a lot of the stuff that they just talked about now. It was like, all right, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this and this, and without Mike and Chris looking at me and going, Philip, you're an idiot. They just went, Philip, you're an idiot. Don't do that.
What were they saying?
Well, it was more of a find your objective. All right. At the end, these were 3-hour sessions. At the end of hour 1, where do you need to be? At the end of hour 2, where do you need to be? And in the first adventure, it was, I'll be honest, the players, they were just dicking around in this one little thing. I was like, all right, roll for it. Sure, go ahead. Yeah, you're going to walk over there? Okay, that's fine. All of a sudden, over your comm badges, prepare for emergency beam out.
Yep.
Wing.
Yep.
Story continues.
Story had to go on because we were like, but and there's I guess that was like my GM intrusion.
Yeah.
But I just didn't give him anything for it.
You're like, you've done all of your background research. Go.
Yeah. You're done. Yeah. There was a lot of really just rolling with it. I mean, like we've said before, roll with it. There are your players are going to do things that surprise you, infuriate you. You have this. You've got your railroads, and I think we make it a running joke in our group. We're like, all right, I'm going to run this game, and then we'll start like a second thread without the DM in it. It's like, all right, guys, how are we going to screw this up?
Are we going to a spa?
Sometimes we don't even make a second. We just do it in the
we
same
just do it
chapter.
right there.
Or my favorite is like when we were playing the Star Wars game on this show, and Randy made it really clear we wanted to go to that specific hangar, and we're like, no, we should probably park on the edge of town, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't want to attract a lot of attention.
No.
I'm going to go to the outskirts, man. I don't want to.
Gosh dang it. So what would you guys put together for a session 0? Like, what should you think about at session 0?
Is this after we've established what kind of game we're playing?
Yes.
No, I would at least have the system. But session 0 can also be a good of, do I want a game that's, because like for instance, we ended up having like the idea going into it was we were going to, for our Ravnica game, was, this is going to be like, as we were getting into our session 0 was, this is going to be a diplomatic
game
kind of political thing. And then we got into session 0 and everybody's like, I don't really want to play those kind of, like, I don't want all of us to play those kind of characters.
Yeah.
So then you get a kind of, I want to play this, I want to play that. Then it's like, okay, well then what kind of game do we want to play?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like system is kind of important and maybe a general idea, but be fluid in that, if your players want to play something else.
Yeah. It all depends on terminology too, right? I've always considered session 0 to be getting the team together and say, who wants to play what kind of character, right? And get the rough formations of a group kind of put together. But in order to do that effectively, you either need to have a really long session 0 to talk about what game system you want to use, or even better, start a Slack channel, start texting your friends, sit down around a table around lunch or whatever else, and start your session pre-0 thing there to say, hey, guys, I want to play a game. I'm thinking about running one. Anybody want to play? So start there, and then when they all say, oh, yeah, we really want to play, say, all right, we're going to go order pizza and meet at my place 7 o'clock on Friday, and we're going to we'll do a session 0. We'll talk about what kind of style of campaign we want, what kind of characters we want, and then we'll build something from there, right?
Yep. And that'll really help you design encounters and activities that will prevent your players from, quote-unquote, dicking around too much.
They'll always dick around.
Right, but
not
control.
too much.
I'm saying, and this
control
is
the
this is easier said than done, and something I still need to get good at. But if you know, for instance, that your players will dick around, then somehow make that progress the story. give them interesting things to find that they will be interested in. Or if they're interested in puzzles, make sure you make up some puzzles that they're going to want to do. Or if they just love combat, just throw in a bunch of enemies and don't make them talk a lot. So it's
You say staring at Phil.
That was like my first
Yeah.
half of the first game we
But
got.
no, I
Phil
feel
has
like
consistently
Phil-
been playing the
the
face
talkie character. Yeah, Phil, you're a great face character now.
Well, as soon as I found out how proficient I can be in stuff, I was
Yeah.
like,
right.
Jimmy was hiding that from us, and we're gonna have it out, bud.
Well, I think they're also talking about the improvising, the getting into the role playing, kind of like what we were talking about last time.
I would also say don't make the same mistakes that I did. First D&D game that I ran, we had like 12 people.
Oh yeah,
That's
don't
an
do that.
insane group,
It's
right?
too many.
Yeah.
So the problem with that is you got a board, and back then we were playing the move the mini 5 squares thing, right? And by the time somebody took their turn, it was like a 30-minute wait
Yep.
to get back to your turn.
Yeah.
Start with a small group, 3, 4, 5 players, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
probably go more than 5. And then just run a campaign and be fluid with it and get everybody engaged. If you can, get your players to agree to put their cell phone down, away, right?
Yeah.
And then they can pick it up and take 10-minute breaks every now and again. Let them check their messages or whatever else. But that way you don't end up with people playing on their phone the whole time and not listening to the story and say, oh, it's my turn. All right, well, wait, what did you do again?
Yep. Or if you can't keep your group down to 5 players, take some of your extra players and make them into your NPC buddies.
Like,
Yeah.
make them significant NPCs.
Or something else I've seen that I think would be really cool on some of the days that we have like a ton of people, which actually works out in our favor. That usually it's like half the group can't come to
Yeah.
it. But
Yep. something
something else you could consider is a co-GMing thing where like one person takes one half, one person takes the other. Maybe you design a story together where it's 2 groups competing.
Yeah.
You know, like you could have a D&D adventure where 2 groups are competing for the same prize kind of thing, and the thing that Group A does affects what Group B does.
Mhm.
That's another way you could achieve. And then you're also got that other GM DM to help you out.
Yeah.
Kind of with making that story.
It's also a good way to get people who aren't real comfortable with the GM thing and want to try to get into it a little bit more is to have them be an assistant GM.
Yeah.
True.
And say, here you go. You're going to be the innkeeper. These are the couple things that they know. Beyond that, make up whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
And if you make up something that's critical to the story or sends them off on a wild goose chase, we'll deal with it,
Yeah,
right?
we'll
We'll
roll.
run down.
Although,
we'll run down
That's
that
what
aisle.
Corey. That's what
Katie,
you did for.
I did do that well.
Would you say that you'll roll with it?
But
I'm just thinking though about how you let Katie be Volo and now Volo's a butt.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's all right. I mean, now Volo's memorable, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Volo's very memorable.
That's right.
Katie had a quip for all of you guys.
Yep.
So I couldn't
Damn
not
it.
let that go.
Oh, she insulted all of us in her character notes. So rude.
Ugh.
But yeah,
So-
assistant GMing's great.
Yeah, but I think we've kind of wrapped that up. If anybody has any comments or questions that may be specific to your group, feedback at dirtbagsofholding.com, and we can address that more specifically. But with that, I sent out for a couple of questions, and I called this the hot seat,
Uh-oh.
which is where these
The
are just
hot
kind
seat.
of these are just kind of short questions that I got that are not meant to be big topics, but who knows? You guys, we're dirtbags.
We need a
And in fact-
musical. We need a musical sting for the hot seat. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The hot seat.
like
You
like
nod.
the sports center opening.
Yeah.
Anyways. So yeah, the first question was actually asked is like, why are we dirtbags?
Because
we were-
Because you haven't played with
the-
us.
Yeah.
We
well,
were-
because that's the family friendly word we can put on a screen.
Yeah, exactly.
The other
And
is
a back of a
female
t-shirt.
hygiene
I
product.
will
Yeah.
say that we all play in a non-televised game, and yeah, it's in my basement, and we have my little game room, and on the wall there is a
there are
giant
a lot of
poster
chains.
that are
Oh, that room.
different.
On
There-
the left side of the house.
There is a giant poster on the side of our wall that one of our friends John made up for us. That is the not nice Dirtbags of Holding, right? So that's kind of where some of that came from.
Yep. Oh man.
Also,
Essentially,
it's-
it
it-
refers to the way that we constantly go off the rails and
Yeah.
are generally dirtbags to the GM.
build our own rails.
And to each other.
I am so proud of any GM that can successfully GM a game with me in it.
Yeah.
Because I am a huge pain in the ass.
Yep.
We know.
But you
Everybody
make
at this table's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
know.
We know.
I will
You make
often
it very fun.
I will often take a critical eye and say, okay, this is the path that we need to go down. Let's go right. Right?
But it ends up great every time.
You're also the power game. How many extra sets of dice did they have to specifically buy just so you could roll like an attack
for my Star
Tail?
Wars
Yeah.
character? Yeah, it was we had a lot.
That was
It came to the point where I was working on like another level of dedication, and there's like a so I had full auto and I would mow things down. There was an ability on a different set that I was working towards that essentially said all of my shots gain breach,
you were a
which essentially means I would shoot a machine gun that fires lightsabers.
yeah.
And Mike was just like, no. And I was like, yeah, that's gone too far.
Yeah.
So I had to start dialing that back.
You essentially, like everyone else in the team, would run up and try to attack stuff and then get out of the way so that you could take your Gatling gun and shoot everyone
And
else.
you guys were so nice about it too, because there were times where I was like, I just wiped all of the bad guys out, and these guys haven't done anything yet.
Yep.
So there were times where like, all right, nope, gun's going away. I'm pulling out the knife. It's going to kill the bad guys, but it's going to do it one at a time this time,
Yep.
right?
Oh, Kale's great.
That's why
All
I was surprised
Before
Randy
we
let
go
me have
there-
all those mods.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's a new segment called Jimmy should have said this half an hour ago.
Okay.
All right.
When we were discussing good RPGs for board gamers, Phoenix Dawn Command,
Yeah.
which we have a series of you can listen to, Dirtbags of Holding archives, boardandswords.com/ I don't know, Dirtbags of Holding. Anyway,
Phoenix Dawn Command.
it is a RPG light, I would say, because it's card based instead of dice based. That's why Chris hates it.
I like that one.
But
Yeah.
pretty much all your powers are on cards, and the cards ask you to say, like, you know, how do you inspire your teammates, or how does this look in real time or whatever. Anyway, Phoenix Dawn Command, Together Studios. Back to the hot seat.
I'm sold. I'm easy.
Phil, we're just gonna make you into a just record a bunch of stuff you say.
How
and then
many
if you
times-
don't come, we're just gonna.
I
Use the soundboard.
want to know. So like I've said this a bunch. Chris is gonna like edit me out. The from Mission Impossible, the little card they have the dude read,
Yeah.
so that it like mimics your voice totally. I want to know if that's like a real thing.
Maybe.
anyways,
How many times can you get Phil's little snippet on there to say I'm easy?
Yep.
You just have
I'm
it say
easy.
I'm easy. I'm easy.
I'm easy.
Easy.
Okay.
Phil would be the best, or it'd be really easy to be your wingman if we had a Phil I'm easy button.
so
The hot seat.
the next question is, how much dirt can a bag of holding hold?
Oh, I know.
How
There's
How much
a,
Mitchell Chuck could have? Wait,
isn't
what?
there? It's like 20 square feet. There's a
So
size for a
there's
bag
like
of holding.
there's a size limit to a bag of holding. There's a
Yeah.
pound limit to a bag of holding.
And
it
then there's
always
an
weighs 10
opening.
pounds, but it can
The
hold
bag always
like,
weighs 10 pounds.
It can
Yeah,
hold like, I don't know, 500 pounds.
something.
There's a size.
None. Can't
None.
hold any dirt because we've already filled it up with a whole bunch of pre-dirt.
I was
Yeah.
going to say about as much dirt as it takes to suffocate a body.
Oh no, Saraf, get out! When did you come in here? Leave. You weren't invited.
Just keeps appearing.
He was hidden. All right. He can hide in the middle of a friggin' meadow.
Did you just throw a dagger at me?
No,
I think that was a poof invisible.
that was a poof.
Yeah.
smoke bomb?
He Batmaned out.
Yeah, you gotta do it like Letterkenny. Ninja's mom.
Also, what if the dirt isn't dirt? It's actually like secrets and other gossip you have on people.
That's
They're like,
right.
What's the dirt?
All right,
I
Department
can
of
hold.
Mysteries over there.
I can hold all of your secrets.
What's the dirt? Spill the dirt.
Spill the
as-
dirt.
as the kids say.
Yeah.
I think we've answered the next question, which was like the first RPG. I think we did that on one of our first year.
We did.
The first
Uh,
RPG we've played.
The first RPG we played, like how old were we? I'm pretty sure that was our year one look back was kind of like
Probably.
how
Do
did
we
you
wanna
get
do a
started?
Oh yeah, let's
A
go over
speed
it
round?
again. Yeah.
Speed round for me would have been Mech Warrior, and I was a freshman in high school.
Phil.
Tabletop or video game?
tabletop.
Oh, more
Super
than likely,
Mario Brothers.
right? The Legend of Zelda. Gosh.
Gosh, come on.
I want to say it was D&D in your old house,
Ah, right. So that would have been around like 09.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, back in high school, a couple buddies and I got together and we played a Shadowrun game. So that was probably
This
my
doesn't
first.
surprise me at all.
Yeah.
D&D homebrew when I was 12, maybe
Do you know
11.
what edition
Was
it
that
was?
last year or?
Oh. Oh, painful. I don't know. It was in the chainmail book that's like
That would have
silver on
been
the front.
3. I think that was 3rd edition,
Yeah.
where it looked like a tome, kind of.
No, this was like a tiny little book.
Oh, okay.
And then the GM had written a whole like 5 or 6 binders worth of information.
Sure, that
When
was a
he was in
game
college.
and not a. Never mind.
Yep. No. Oh man.
Let's see. D&D 3.5 in my junior year of college, which was a full 7 years ago.
We're gonna die soon.
I know. I know.
Oh,
Man.
Oh,
look at that.
and then
Sanders
we
got
got
us all
we
beat.
got,
Sanders
yeah,
got us all
right?
beat playing 1st edition D&D over here when she was 8.
Sandy.
Oh, well, good for you.
She's so much cooler than all of us.
Yeah.
What is your
Yeah.
favorite RPG campaign that you are a part of, and least favorite?
Oh, hey, I found it, though, and I beat Sandy because it is Chainmail Rules of Medieval Miniatures 0 edition.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, that's what you played?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was actually, so that was the...
Is it like
the-
pre-advanced
it-
Dungeons and
it-
Dragons?
well, no, it was pre-Dungeons and
That one.
Dragons.
What?
Yeah, Gary Gygax. Nice.
Yeah, he wrote that as because people were... So that was back in, like, the 60s he wrote that.
Look at you. You were doing this stuff before it was cool.
Oh. I just had a cool neighbor.
I thought you
who-
were talking about, like, the book looked like chainmail, not the
No,
book
it-
chainmail.
yeah.
So favorite campaign that we've
Favorite
been a part of?
campaign that you've been a part of, least favorite campaign. So let's go the other way, Jimmy.
Favorite campaign? It'd probably be well, it's obviously Star Wars, Fantasy Flight, and it's probably the one with Kale and my character who was a hacker slicer, Karth Onassi. And yes, I did copy the name from Knights of the Old Republic, the first name.
Nice.
Anyway,
It's all fair.
yeah. I don't know. It was a good narrative game. I got really attached to my character who discovered a lot of things about himself within the course of that campaign. Least favorite? I don't know. Why don't we go around and say favorite and then
Okay.
come back to least favorite?
Favorite was a one-shot we did at Gen Con with Jerome.
Oh yeah.
And
Or
Ur-
Jamal.
or Jamal. I don't remember if his name was Jamal or Jerome.
Yeah.
He was amazing. We did Urban Shadows. We all came in, like created our characters, then created our relationships, said like 1 or 2 interesting facts about Baltimore. Side note, it was called The Raven. It was set in Baltimore. Everyone at the table was from the DMV area except Jerome / Jamal. He was like, I'm from Chicago. And we were like, why did you pick this? But he left after we put together all of our facts and put together an amazing story in 10 minutes
Mhm.
and let us all have it or like reveal itself.
That's like some Iron GM stuff.
Oh
He
yeah.
is
Yep.
so good, and his voice was like really low.
Have you heard about this?
No.
There's a competition. I think they do it other than Gen Con, but Gen Con's where I know it. You sign up. It's like an all-day Saturday event, and it's a competition where each round you are given a group of players, and then you get like 5 minutes to get like you're given like a topic, and like 5 minutes to kind of discuss like brief like what kind of characters they're going to play. Then you go off, you get like 15 minutes or something like that to make the adventure while they're making characters, come back and play, and then you get rated on how well you did.
Yep.
And then like you get narrowed down like playing round.
I think he could have won the whole game.
Well, I'm not surprised, but
he
it's
was-
just the way
yeah.
you described it reminded me of that.
Yeah, it was amazing. And there was nothing like specifically special about anyone's character, but just the table really vibed well, and he did a good job. Throwing it to Chris.
Yeah, so the Star Wars game with Kale was a lot of fun. I really got attached to that character, and that was nice and memorable because it was kind of one of the first Star Wars games that
Yeah.
we did. So Mike did a great job on that one, GMing. I also thought Corey did a good job when she took over my campaign, and some of the when I got to make my monk, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I completely disagree in that I had a very hard time paring down that campaign, and it went for 2 years, and that was probably about.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't even gonna. The next question was longest running.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the first 5e game
I
we
think
did.
that,
more
that
than-
game that game went about 20 months too long.
It did go through 2 books, though.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
Well, that's because one book was nothing but you just walking for.
yeah,
And I had a-
it wasn't the best
Yeah.
setup campaign, but I thought it was well put together from the perspective of what the group did. And
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I
We-
liked
we
everyone's
did.
characters.
I mean,
So for
that's where the
listeners,
squirrels came from.
We're
and-
talking
yeah.
about
Yeah.
Horde of the Dragon Queen into
Rise of Tiamat.
Rise of
Rise of
Tiamat,
Tiamat, yeah.
which is notoriously railroady.
Oh,
It's also the fact that I don't think it was written by Wizards. I think it was
Okay.
somebody that was given beta versions of the rules.
Yeah.
That's why you notice in a market a distinct difference in Horde of the Dragon Queen compared to Rise of Tiamat, because Tiamat was with the finalized rules, and Horde of the
sense.
Dragon Queen was when they were still in beta.
And then of course we played other that have memorable characters like the final bad guy Draenus, right? Everybody remember Draenus?
So let's say, can we go with that? Can we jump to worst campaign ever?
Go ahead, Phil.
So
Pass it on to you.
I want to say my most memorable campaign was a Star Wars campaign with Fuzzy and
Oh yeah.
yeah. No, it wasn't
No,
tiny.
No,
Was
well,
tiny?
I was tiny.
You
but
were tiny.
I think you're
I was
talking.
Fuzzy.
That was the
and
one,
Kellic.
the Force and Destiny one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Force and Destiny. I was Blubbu.
Is this one that I GM'd and you were the Chacha fan?
Yes.
And then
And Mike was also a
Mike
Chacha
was
fan,
Kellic,
yes.
who's a Chacha fan.
Yes.
They were great.
Oh,
And
this
Chris
is
was a Wookiee.
This is the
you're a
Wookiee
Wookiee.
one. Yeah,
That
that
one
one was
was
a good
great.
one. Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
I
My
think
Wookiee
I want to know
doctor.
if someone drew it up as
The moment where you guys, I want someone to draw it where
What
you
did
were
I
all in a
play?
car,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you were
The
like
taxi.
attached to the back,
Yeah.
and all of the
and Fuzzy and Kellic are using your bandolier as a
Well-
seatbelt. Like we're just
Yeah.
as
You know what I-
Dasani's in the front
Dasani.
flirting.
Yep.
You don't want to draw the
Don't say
the
Draenus.
twerking
No, no, no.
IG-88.
No. I was gonna say you remember we in the Star Wars game we played on here where we we rented a truck and designed it to be like a
Jabba
lift
the
for
Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt,
Yeah.
or no, Ozip the Hutt.
Ossip the Hut.
That's right.
And
As
everyone's just hiding inside.
everyone's in this giant hut
Oh, no.
costume.
I did have a lot of fun as a Wookiee.
We're
the
so
whole
good.
the whole Slack thing where nobody could really understand me except for a couple of people, and Mike kept misunderstanding what I was saying,
Yeah.
and then the whole Wookiee medicine thing I just had fun with.
Oh, that was disgusting. Put this maggot in your brain. You'll feel better.
For me, I think actually mine is a one shot also, and it's one I but one I played in 2 years ago at a Catacon, the Predation, where it was 2 people that were really into the Cypher system, and it was like the best use of time travel ever in a game, and it was 2 GMs, and each one did a different time. It was basically 2 groups in the same place but 2 different periods of time. And if something happened and you got sent back in time, you went to the other person's table.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
done. Like, it's the kind of game that if in the wrong hands would have been a complete disaster, but
Yeah.
it was a masterpiece.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's fun to move around.
Yeah.
Worst game. I still don't know what my worst game is. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, I know my worst game.
So
Phil, you are.
I legitimately can't think of a worst game, and it's not just because most of the games I've been in have been GM'd by people around the table. So I'm not. Oh yeah, what are we playing right now on the podcast? No, I'm joking. No, I think just looking at it from an objective sort of analyzing the adventure standpoint, I mean, I'd probably pick the Horde of the Dragon Queen.
I was gonna go there just because I did not like.
not the way
It
that
just
it was
ran
run.
for a
Not the
long
yeah,
time.
no,
Yeah.
not the way it was run. It's just the storyline itself.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I liked our characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked Finn.
Finn's
That's
great.
probably my favorite D&D character I've had, because I've had like different versions of him in other campaigns as well, because I like him so much. Yeah, it was just Horde of the Dragon Queen, especially Rise of Tiamat, not so much. It was just very railroady, and you can tell. But I have legitimately enjoyed every role-playing game I've been in. And I'll share a one-shot too, because you shared your our Urban Shadows one-shot. But There was one particular game of Fiasco we were playing with a group of friends up in DC, especially with one of our friends who is a huge like cinephile. So this is Nick. I'm talking about. Yeah, so he really loves Fiasco, and we just we were getting into our characters so much that for the final scene of the game, we all decided to act it out in real time.
Yeah.
And like with blocking and you know positioning and all that stuff, and that was just it was really fun for us to get into the game that much that we would like get up and kind of set up the room to act out the scene. And it was a scene in which, you know, somebody got shot and like there were people
were
dying,
looking in mirrors.
and people were looking in mirrors dramatically, and
That's beautiful.
anyway, so I
That
love
was
Fiasco.
a bad game? That sounded
No,
like a
he's
good
saying
game. Oh,
this
okay.
is
No, I was just
This
pointing
is
out.
a part 2 of Jimmy should have
Oh,
said
gotcha,
this 30
Part
minutes
2,
ago.
Jimmy
Right,
should have
right,
said
right.
this
Okay.
about 7 minutes ago. Anyway,
My least favorite game, another one shot at Gen Con, Masks. Masks is
Oh,
run in a
yes.
very similar way to Urban Shadows. Hated it because this group was
The setting was fine.
the setting was fine.
Okay.
Masks you play as a
Because
bunch
that's one
of
I've been wanting. I've been curious about.
Masks is super fun. You play it as a bunch of teenage.
Yeah, it's like Teen
Superheroes.
Titans.
Yeah. So, but the group was just not friendly to each other, and the GM.
I thought the group was good as the GM was terrible.
I don't know. There were multiple people at the table
That's
who
true. No, I
were
¿Por
just-
qué no los dos?
Yeah.
I remember now.
Anytime we tried to make a choice to like do something
Yep.
to progress the plot, the GM was like adversarial. They were trying to. They would shoot down everything we said if it wasn't what they wanted to do.
Also, it was like a game of Seafall.
I've never.
Well, I was
Someone's still bitter.
Wasn't this the time you were talking about like there's an unofficial GM DM rule of if you're going to tell your players no, say a no but.
Yeah.
And this guy was always no and
Yeah.
yeah, like
Mhm.
adding stuff to the no.
And so I got salty, and I was not fun for like the last half hour because I went on my own tangent and was like, no, I'm getting inside a truck and I'm going to run away and go find the bad guy. Oh, that GM hated me by the end, but I
Yep.
was like, this guy's not fun. And no one was having fun at the table until
Nope.
we started making choices that forced the GM to have us go. And maybe they were new. I don't know. But they weren't nice or fun or happy. They just seemed like they're doing this GMing maybe to get into the con for free, and this was taking their time. They weren't happy.
Chris?
You really want to know?
Oh no.
Drainus?
No. That one was fine.
Don't worry, I'll say it.
No.
Not so much the campaign, but the last finale. That was just terrible. Like I just wish that it.
That-
I've been.
I
That
wasn't
name
there.
will live on in
Well,
infamy.
I'm not even talking about
Ever.
like that was
Yeah.
just like I just didn't know how to end it, and
Yeah.
so it was ended just like abruptly. It was one of those like I'm just gonna tell you what was gonna happen because this is going way south.
Gotcha.
The worst RPG that I've ever played is the only one we've been paid for.
Took mine.
Oh, wait! I changed my answer. I changed my
I was
answer.
thinking
It
about
was
mentioning
so
that one, but then I didn't.
Bad.
And I don't think we could say it. I don't think we should.
And
Right.
this was-
No,
And
we're
I don't
not
think
gonna
we should
say it.
either.
This
but
was
oh
for
my
similar
God.
reasons as the Masks
What-
game being
so
fun.
so I asked permission to talk about
Yeah,
this. Okay.
he sent me a Slack message just like,
Yeah.
is it okay if I
I
talk
just
about
wasn't
this?
going to say anything about it other than
Yeah.
that's the one.
So
It's a
the
mystery now.
the
I
the
successfully
session
forgotten.
the session that Corey ran.
You're better off than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay. The session that Corey ran
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I say this with all the love in the world. There were some of the times when we were like throwing out the military terms, and you were just like, "What? What's an LZ?"
Yeah. Nope.
And I was just like, I just want to throw stuff at you.
Oh,
I
I
really
had
did.
No idea.
Okay, but I mean, it was
Well,
that was
so we
years
get-
ago. We were
Yeah.
young. We were dumb.
So we could say that the worst game was not on this show.
It was not on this show, no.
because those tapes have been burned,
Oh,
except for not
golly.
really, because I still have the files.
Oh, you still have. We should have like
Need
a
to transfer them onto a
ceremonial
physical tape
and
so we
burn
can
them.
burn them.
Yeah.
The main issue I had was, I mean, the GM was. GM was a giant tool, okay? Like that's the
He
only
built-
way to.
He built the game around making his girlfriend's character powerful.
Yeah.
He did
It
that,
was
and
weird.
he kept name dropping stuff and talking about all these situations. I'm like, dude, we don't care.
It was a guest GM.
Got pissed off at Corey because she didn't like pull out the entire name of the. She's like, I fire my rifle. I'm sorry, honey. Yeah, and he went and called my friend honey.
So
in
I've
a
never
condescending tone.
You guys, I've never seen you be protective ever.
Okay.
After he called me honey, you all had like red eyes. Like, ugh.
he said honey, and that's when Philip was done playing. I took off my headphones, and I'm just like, no, guys, I'm done playing with this
Yeah.
guy.
Let's just say we got lucky and that we had bad Skype connection, and it wasn't like us like
We almost walked out of the game.
Yeah. And
Right.
it was taking
Like
so
this is our
long.
this is our friend's house. We like being here. No, we almost got up and left. Okay.
Had he actually physically been here, they would have called the cops on him.
I mean, somebody might have called the cops on us. It wouldn't have been like me on you or anything. you know?
No, but somebody from the screaming and the blood.
Yeah,
Oh no.
one of the
Oh,
cats.
it's getting
when
a little.
did Chris's blood
Getting
banks
a little
get here?
intense now.
Yeah, right?
Mitch. Oh.
Yeah, but then Corey ran the game, and Chris wouldn't let me sacrifice myself. Still a little salty about
Oh
that.
yeah. He was like,
It's okay. You got it. You got it back at the end of the
I
TMI
did,
game.
I
you,
did.
You pulled a Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan moment.
Yeah, I did. But that was okay. That was okay because as soon as he knocks me out, and then he goes and sacrifices himself because there was some mechanic where he had like an extra clone body
Yeah.
he could upload
Yeah.
into.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was just waiting right outside. As soon as that door opened, wham, bam, pop, right.
You stupid clone. Can you imagine if the clone didn't get like all the memories back, so he has no
Yeah,
idea
he
why
has
you're
no
punching him in the
Ah,
face?
what was that for?
Yep.
Yeah.
The last 10 minutes of the
I
memory.
didn't.
just
Oh,
didn't
that was my
upload.
last 10 minutes.
That
Yep.
reminds me of Dark Matter. Did you ever watch Dark Matter?
Yes.
Where like they had the bodies that they
If
could
the
go.
clone body died,
if-
you would wake up no recollection of what you did.
So
in the
there was
clone
a
body.
travel system where you would go to this like pod and you
Yeah.
would go in it and it would make a temporary clone that like only lasted for like 24 hours or something like that at a faraway place so you could be somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the only way for you to remember what you did is if the clone got back to the pod and reintegrated your memories back. So otherwise if the clone just died, you just woke up like
What
happened?
Yeah.
That's like what's the Netflix with Edgar Allan Poe, the person / hotel.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Oh,
So good.
that is
Very
that is
good.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm not gonna lie. I
That hotel's
I
great.
love that
Yes.
hotel. And it was like, sir, we can offer all sorts of protective services if you would just be a guest at the hotel.
Do it. Do it. Please do it.
So this is a good I think that's a good ending spot. What do you guys think?
They left it on a cliffhanger. Now everybody's like, "What the hell was that?" Yeah.
Did you want? Yeah. No.
That was
We're good.
the hot seat.
That was a hot seat.
Ding,
So
ding,
I'm going to
ding.
add in the stuff at the end, but thanks everybody for listening to this. Stay tuned if you're on the live stream because we're going to switch into finishing the second half of our D&D game.
Okay.
But for as far as this topic episode goes, thanks everybody for listening. Anybody got some parting any last thoughts before we go?
Don't be afraid to use pre-made adventures for your whole GMing career.
If your friends don't seem into the game, talk to them about it, and you can fix it.
If you think you're gonna get airsick, eat bananas. They taste the same coming up as they did going down.
Is that true?
It is.
You asked.
Only give Chris as many rules as he needs to create a basic character. Don't give him anything past that.
give Chris pre-made characters.
Give Chris pre-made characters.
If Chris says, "Hey, can I do?" No,
No,
God,
no.
no.
I would say it's okay to
I just
be
want to go to the bathroom.
it's okay to be a dirtbag. It's not okay to be worse than that.
There
Yeah.
we go.
That's right.
Can we get that on a T-shirt?
Always banana to mouth, never mouth to
No,
banana.
There you go. Corey's on board.
Yeah. I had to think about it for a minute. I was like,
He's like,
wait,
"Get this right. Get this right."
which
She
one?
had to wait, like,
Yeah.
which direction
Yeah.
do I need to?
Let's think through this process.
Yep.
All right, now I got to get set up here for.
It's
Okay.
gonna be like speed round D&D or.
Well, there's only like 2 encounters max.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah.
All right, so
I really like my character, so if we want to do more than one session and you're
Well,
okay with it,
the plan is
to keep
to.
going.
This
Problem
is just the.
we don't know when people are leaving.
Don't worry about me. So you can eloquently kill off my character if you have to.
Here,
Right?
I'll be Chris. Don't worry about me.
Deeper.
You. That's what she said.
Hey.
Don't worry about me.
Close. close.
No,
I'm
you
trying.
gotta do it like in Austin Powers. He's like, how does that feel, baby? Lower. How does that feel?
How does that feel?
I can't do that. It's not fair.
Brown chicken, brown.
I'll just say, like, last
Oh,
time on
chicken.
Dirtbags of Holding, Darius, oh no, he had a stroke.
Oh, no.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's dead now.
He walked
Why do
in
I-
front
oh,
of a movie.
He
Oh,
ate
yeah,
Wolf's
that's why.
Bane.
I have.
That's so bad.
I'm trying to remember why I have so many blank spellcasting sheets because my character has two different spell. My character will have two different spellcasting.
I was going to say, because you forgot to fill it out.
that one too.
Okay, Frank is a dude in a cloak, shadowy figure. 5 minutes later, explosion occurred at
I did
night.
fill some out on the fly.
No, Frank is who we talked to.
All I know is I have an electric whip.
That's pretty cool.
That's basically
The suspect.
Jubilee.
It's a distraction whip.
The suspect is a medium humanoid, cloaked. Maybe has blue hair. I don't remember.
Bear tails. Or no.
Bear
Bear
tails.
kills. Bear tills. Bear trills. Bear ills. Bear
Oh,
krills.
yep.
Bear
Oh, that's
mills. Bear
right.
pills.
That's
That's right. All your cousins.
Bear distills. Bear daffodils. Bear landfills.
Bear daffodil.
Bear Brazils.
I'm amazed how many of those. We
Why
came
have you
up
not put the? I made a
about my,
OneNote, or I made a note that says put these in.
That's my
'Cause,
cousin
to-
in New York, Bear Catskills.
Oh.
there you go. There you go.
So, yeah, the idea was that this could just be a long running, just whenever we needed to get back to it, kind of thing. But yeah, I was gonna take a little bit a break because I got a L5R module I wanted to run. That's all about going into kind of the Shadowlands with all the demons and stuff.
Yeah.
Who's gonna play that with you?
I'll find people. Mike will play.
Chris has a lot of friends that aren't us, and he hangs out with them sometimes. And I'm offended.
Not really.
It seems like you got other friends. No new friends. No.
I'll get Mike and Heather to play.
You should add that Drake saying no new friends to your soundboard.
Yeah.
All right. So just to kind of I'll kind of breeze through. So basically, you're a part of a group that's a cooperation between the Boros Legion and the Selesnya Conclave. And one of your first kind of missions is there's an explosion in one of the districts that you're patrolling, and it was this bakery had exploded, and you had a couple of clues as to what possibly caused it. You followed the clues to the 4th district, which is a little bit more chaotic. Went to the Grutner's Gadgets. Had a bit of a tussle there as a couple of the workers threw out a giant weird that like mauled y'all for a little bit. Then you went. Then it exploded, and Chris took a shower. Meanwhile, while he was cleaning off, Philip went to go talk to his contacts at one of the archive places.
Super secret spy stuff.
Super secret spy stuff. Jimmy tagged along and
Yep.
researched things.
Yep.
So, but where we left off is
We all got gassed.
you all got gassed, basically. Yes.
So
Oh, I
here's a-
forgot.
Here's a
Dang
quick
it.
question for you. Can I make all of my rolls today with this hit indicator die? Just shows where you get hit.
I will say if you succeed at a task, then you can use it.
Okay. That's my right quad.
You got gassed in only your right quad?
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think-
it's gonna
Come
be
on,
something
guys.
like
That's kind of realistic, right? It's just isolated right there.
It is.
That thigh.
And then you can.
it's gonna be like we're like roll survival to cook dinner. All right, yeah. See,
Shoulder.
my right shoulder just got taken out.
So there's a couple of those story bits, but I can't remember which parts you actually got to. But
Story bits.
there'll be a recap coming along.
Okay.
But this is a good place to start.
Remind me again how we got gassed.
So it just happened. It was while you were catching up to them, and then suddenly you all just felt sleepy.
We were eating food.
And then I gave you all inspiration, basically, to just go with it.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that was also a reminder everybody has inspiration.
All
Nice.
right, where's there's
Mhm.
my character?
So you wake up to the sound of water dripping against stone.
Ew.
Looking around, you and your party members find yourself in some sort of cell. However, whomever brought you here did not bother to strip you of your weapons or items. And in fact, in the distance, you can even hear the sound of heavy footsteps, presumably some sort of guard patrolling nearby. Iron bars separate you from the hallway outside the cell.
So I pull out my electric whip and say,
Okay.
hold on, guys, I've been here before. There should be an older lady chained to the wall.
Is there an older lady chained to the wall?
No, this is the wrong dungeon. Sorry.
Are you? I was gonna say. Never
Okay,
mind.
sex dungeon. You
Oh, I
got it
thought.
now?
Okay,
Yeah,
I
all right,
thought you were
Corey's with
making
us
a
now.
Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate, the original
No,
PC
you went.
game joke.
You went way past
Yep.
where I shot.
She
yeah.
went chainmail on you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she went
yeah.
way back there. Yeah.
Now she's just throwing out these old references. Be
Yeah.
Like, nope. Yep.
Hey guys, I didn't
You
have
don't
friends
have
in
to.
middle school.
You don't have to prove anything to us, Corey.
Yeah. No. We accepted
Honey.
it.
Oh. Anyway,
that should have been your response. You know, I grew up playing chainmail. You don't even know what chainmail is, do you?
oh man, if I remembered the rules of chainmail, that might be that might make me have more
Dude,
cred and be able to.
Now you're gonna go look it up, aren't you?
Yeah, I still have the book.
Oh, man, look
Somewhere.
at
What?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's happening next time on.
Next time.
this. Corey
Cool.
runs a chainmail.
All
gang.
right, so you wake up in the
Wouldn't
cell.
be the first time.
All right. We wake up in this cell, and I guess we just start patting myself down. I'm like, I'm still armed.
Yeah, I got my
Darius-
stuff too.
Derek,
What a fool.
what is going on here?
Waking up from unconscious is usually your gig. What happened?
This was not me this time.
Can I do a medicine check?
I look at him quizzically.
Like to do what?
I'm gonna do a medicine check on.
She's licking the floor.
On Bear to see
Yes.
if he's having any symptoms from after being knocked unconscious.
Okay.
I want to figure out if there's any indications
Long-term
of
effects.
yeah, or like figure out maybe what happened. Like, does he have is his respiratory
We
system
were-
depressed?
We were
Was
knocked.
Okay.
We were knocked
what
out
was-
with an asbestos-based gas, and in 30 years, we're all gonna have cancer.
Yeah, mesothelioma.
You're not gonna live for 30 years.
I will
Let's
have
be
leveled
honest.
up to be immune
But
to
we'll be
disease
able to
by
call 1-800-LAWYER now.
That's
then.
right.
That's right. I
I
have
got
a phone.
5.
You got a 5.
So I'm like, oh, he's not dead.
You think? No.
Not
You're
dead
like
yet.
Not.
you're like sitting here like, hey, are you dead?
Bear.
You're like
I am not
you.
dead.
You wake up to her like smacking you like,
Yeah.
are
Bear.
you dead?
And not
I was
not
resting
like
my eyes.
not like gentle nurse. He's like, "Are you dead?"
Maybe I'm freaking out a little bit,
I was
shaking you.
dreaming
fact-
of a very
in fact,
nice recycling center.
I will say that Jimmy actually takes like 1d4 of damage because she like thinks he's not breathing, and it's like like
Bear.
if you do the chest compressions in the
Uh-huh.
wrong way.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
4.
So
Oh wow.
What a
Sorry.
what a great story moment.
For a moment there, you startle awake and you become Glare Grills.
Glare
Grills.
Oh.
I am so happy this happened.
all right, Chris, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to get up. I'm going to check to make sure that all my equipment and weapons are there, and then I'm going to start looking through the bars. I'm going to see where that main gate is to see whether or not it's easily identifiable. Right
Are you talking about on your cell or
on the cell? Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it like a?
So it's just like your standard. Think like there's bars and then like a door in the middle.
okay, but the whole cell is bars, or is it?
No, it is like
It's rock.
stone. It's stone
Okay.
rock on like 3 sides,
and then
and
bars
then the
straight
bar
across.
straight
Okay.
across.
Are there other cells?
Yes,
Are there people in other cells?
you cannot tell from where you are because the way they're aligned is like you'd have.
staggered.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
like they're staggered, so you would not be able to see.
Do I know this area?
It looks like a crypt.
Okay, it
So,
doesn't.
like-
It doesn't look like a jail or something else where
No.
a,
It looks seedy.
military authority around here would have
No.
seen before.
No,
Okay, so
this
this is
looks shady underground shit.
gotcha. So not official jail.
Correct.
Okay, Bisker, I'm not aware of this place.
I'm. Sorry.
Actually, while he's doing that,
yeah.
can I sniff? Can I smell
Oh,
and
yeah.
see if I can tell anything from the?
Let's just do a perception check.
Okay, and since I'm using smell, I get advantage.
Nice.
Is that legit like a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
he's
I'm a werewolf.
He's a gross wolf
Right.
man.
That's right.
Was that 19?
219.
Wow.
Which is still 9. Oh, so 19 plus. What was it? Perception?
Yeah.
5, 6,
22.
22.
3.
You smell actually.
You smell nice.
So when you imagine yourself as the werewolf, is it more like an underworld werewolf, or like a Twilight werewolf, or like an Oz from Buffy werewolf?
You know what I really liked? On Netflix, they just released a new series of animation things.
Yeah. Is it the robot one?
Love.
The love
yeah.
robot and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Have you
So
seen those?
Good. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see the werewolf one with
No.
the Marines?
No.
We haven't seen
Okay.
that one yet.
When you get that, I'm one of those guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, just watch it. That's one of my favorite ones. It's freaking awesome.
Have you guys watched it?
Basically,
Yeah.
they walk around as normal people,
But I've heard
right?
about it.
But once
So
they
good.
tap kind of into their power, their
Yeah.
eyes will shift color, right? And then if they need to do a complete shift, they can do a complete shift.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Cool.
I
was
look like a
in-
normal guy.
That's the werewolves from Lost Girl.
Have not seen
I
it.
don't know
Shifting
Lost
back
World.
to D&D.
Sorry.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, go see it. That's
It is
it's
late.
awesome.
17 minutes apiece. So
Yeah.
good. Sorry.
So you smell
They're all real
death. You smell death and decay, like decaying bodies.
Okay. So nothing I wasn't expecting. Is there anything
A little bit of iron in the air.
Okay. Is there anything that would lay this apart from it being a crypt? Like, do I smell a faint scent of
You
bread
smell a
or
faint scent of wine, actually.
wine? Okay.
Wine.
Okay.
Smells like your house.
Wine.
Mildew
But
and
like
wine.
it's very faint.
And death. It
Somewhere
does smell like
nearby.
your house.
So for where you can see, because you're up by the bars,
We're not in my house.
you can just see basically a hallway that looks like it curves on both sides.
Any sources of light?
Yeah, there's a couple of candles illuminating.
Okay. Can I see into
Gone
the
through.
shadows any more since I can see in the dark?
Just like there's nothing in the hallway.
Okay. It's
Just
just a long hallway. There's no like stairs at the end of the hallway or a
not
door
that you
or
can
anything
see,
like that.
and you
Okay.
can see like the doors to the other crypts, but it doesn't look the cell things. But from where you are, you just see the like basically 2 feet into each cell.
Okay.
That's about all you can see from where you are.
I'm gonna see if the door's open.
Okay,
Is it open?
the door's open. I was wondering I was wondering if anybody was actually going
Hell
to check
yeah.
the door.
Hey guys,
You pulled that off Doctor Who.
guys, the door's open.
Then let us exit immediately.
That-
These jailers are fools.
It's not a very effective crypt.
Well,
Was it-
all right.
Maybe-
Hang
maybe
on. Hang on.
Hmm.
They left us with all our stuff. We're not tied up, and the door's open. Maybe
We should do the one thing they're not expecting. We should stay here.
let's. I mean, they took us against our will, but let's not.
Assume that they're bad guys.
Yeah, let's not assume
Should we
that we're
talk?
about to. Huh?
So as you're talking, you can start to hear some sort of footsteps coming down one of not in the hallway, but like they're coming from an adjacent hallway, getting louder.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk out in the hallway and. Can I distinguish which direction I need to be facing to intercept this person?
So to your left.
All right, so I'm just gonna walk out and turn to the left and just stand in the middle of the hallway authoritatively.
Before
Okay.
we see anybody, can I roll a stealth?
Sure.
Hide in the shadows?
Yeah.
Can I
Can
hide in
you
the shadows?
behind me?
Yes.
Okay.
I will not hide.
I crit failed. So I am hiding in the shadows by standing next to him saying, "Yes, I am hidden."
It's
I'm
so
moving
dark
so
here.
slow.
You're moving so slowly.
I was just gonna.
cannot see.
I was just gonna say that you would just be like, "Hey guys, should I hide?"
You're like,
I think
"Oh."
someone's approaching. We should keep the sense of surprise.
I'm not going to hide now. I'll just stand in the hallway.
So as you see the footsteps get louder around the corner, you see what looks like a kind of an armored soldier of some type. You can recognize the insignia as this is a Orsov.
Hmm.
Orsov knight.
Remind me what Orsovs are.
Orsovs are kind of like they're basically like the mafia, but like a religious mafia.
Okay.
That's even
They are
worse.
more underworldish.
Yes.
Okay.
Think of like a dark, like a
So
think of almost like a satanic mafia. That might be
these are the
really
demon people,
not demon people,
but the people who worship, like their lead is a
Oh
demon.
yeah.
one of them. Yeah,
Okay.
it could be.
Yeah.
What's up?
So as a law person, I probably don't like these people, right?
Depends. They're it's one of those like
We're lawful good, they're lawful evil.
ish.
Oh, we're all lawful. Look at that.
We're all lawful.
Yeah.
That's right.
But we
Question
all
real
like
quick.
breakfast at Tiffany's.
It kind of depends on the person, sort of thing.
Do
Okay.
we hear any like crying or whimpering, any sounds coming out of the cells around us?
No, that's the noise I'm making as I'm trying to hide.
More
God.
like what's our thing again?
Our
What?
thing?
What?
What's our group? What's our name?
Oh,
The
the
Briar
Briar
Shield.
Shield.
Briar Shield. I'll write that down.
So are there any sounds coming from the other cells? Do I
Not
see
that
anyone?
you can hear.
And do I see anyone in the ones
No.
around us? Okay.
All right, so the
okay.
soldier comes up and basically he's like, "Oh, you are awake."
Yes, we are awake. I am Visker of the Boros Legion, currently assigned to the Briar Shield. Why have we been brought here?
But Brother Matthias will answer all your questions.
This
He told
is-
me to come grab you whenever you are awake.
This is in violation of Article 3 of Chapter 2 of Article 7. You understand that capturing a Boris unit is a violation of Code 4, Article 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The soldier motions and he goes, "And these crypts, Boros law does not apply."
Oh,
What
you
about-
mother...
All right, lead on.
All right, I'm going to roll my hit dice now.
You got hit right in the heart.
So he leads you around the corner, and then basically you see that the area you're in was kind of a square. Like if you'd gone the other way, you would have reached the same place.
Mhm.
And then at the end of the hallway, there's stairs that lead up into more of a other room. The hallway opens up into a large rectangular room. As you approach the room, you begin to hear what sounds like an organ playing lightly in the background.
Mm.
Throughout the room, you see several decorative archways fitted with candles, placed in a manner that seems to kind of chase away the stench of death and decay, replacing it with this aroma of a sweet wine that has just been opened.
Mm.
Oh, there's that wine.
To the left of the opening, engravings in the floor surround a platform which sits on upon which sits an exquisite yet open coffin. To the right, there is a long banquet table. A rugged old man is laid out on the table, his skin turned pale as every drop of life has left him.
Mm.
On the other end of the table, a lone man sits in the room, patting his mouth with a napkin, removing the blood from his fangs.
It's a freaking vampire.
The man looks at your direction and stands up from his chair. "Ah, so glad you could join me. I'm sorry for the rude way we had to bring you here. My name is Brother Matthias. My minions tend to get a bit overzealous when I tell them that it's urgent that I meet with you, or meet with somebody."
Okay. Why did you want to meet with us?
My sources tell me that you're looking into the destruction of the old man's place in Precinct 3 and the disappearance of his wife. Is that correct?
Could
Yeah.
be.
Could be.
What you may not know. So he goes, "I do apologize. The bakery was actually not the target of the attack."
So you're admitting to that attack.
Correct.
You're taking culpability and fault.
We were responsible, as I no doubt you were already close. We were watching your investigation.
I'm gonna make eye contact with all of you guys. Like
All at the
Yeah.
same time? Like,
Yeah.
do your eyes do a...
they yes. Yeah, we were close. No, Bear stop.
He was close.
Stop shaking your head.
You had found out about the Orsov involvement
Mhm.
because the Orsov the guy the Demir dude that
Yeah.
had found the letter or found the person worked also for the Orsov. The reason I brought you here and the reason I'm discussing this with you is that there is a big misunderstanding here. Yes, we were involved in that explosion. However, things got out of hand. First of
Mhm.
I'll
all,
say.
the bakery was not the eatery was not the target.
You've said this.
With the stable house was actually one of my minions who has since been eliminated and punished. Yes, in that order.
Wait a minute. We flogged the dead body.
Targeted the wrong house. I know.
Well, it's hard to find good help these days.
Yes.
What you do not understand, sir, is that act almost hurt this man's farmer's brother, Bertils,
That's right.
and we are very offended by this.
You have attacked my family.
I'm also slightly offended because you killed 2 innocent people.
But they were vegetarians.
Shush.
This goes to the second part of the problem, is the device that we acquired from the Izzet turned out to be
and isn't.
extremely overpowered for the task at hand. We wanted the assassination to be more of an assassination, not an explosion.
Was this an approved assassination?
By me, yes. As you see,
Is this guy the guildmaster?
no,
Okay, so he's an underboss.
yeah,
Okay.
he so
Are we aware of him? Do we have a dossier?
yeah, he's one of the Orsov in Precinct 4 that kind of works around. He's like,
But we
one of
know
the-
where he is in the scale
Yeah.
of things, right? Okay.
This would be like maybe not like so you've got like your thugs,
Uh-huh.
and then like the guy that's the lead thug.
Uh-huh.
This is probably like the next guy up.
Okay. So he's the boss
He-
of a couple lead thugs.
Yeah. He's maybe like in the guild hierarchy, if you compared him, he's maybe like a level or 2 above you.
Okay.
Like if you're talking the same guild kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So, yes, what we were actually trying to do was target the stableman, which I was trying to remember. Scrolling up to look at his name again. Xander Alderman.
Xander Alderman.
And why would you target this alderman?
His wife, Madeline, specifically. He is a wanted person by the Orsov, particularly me.
For what reason?
So, what you don't know is his wife, who goes by Madeline. Her name is actually Cara Sinclair.
Do I know that name?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, you could roll
History.
no in insight.
Can
maybe?
I do it through
I think
smell?
insight.
No.
All right. Roll insight? I can
Yeah.
do that. Sure.
Is that there's
Insight.
not like a local knowledge kind of thing?
No.
Yeah.
It's not like a knowledge
10.
underworld.
Yeah. No, you don't recognize the name.
Visker, you know of this lady?
What is it? I can't see it.
That's a dice.
Throw
I think
stuff
that's
at you.
18.
That's a 19
Nice.
with an insight. That's a 22. I still don't know her, do I?
No. So
I rolled a nat 20. Yeah, you have no idea who this chick is.
her family owed the Orsov a significant debt, and so she was betrothed to me in exchange for forgiving said debts.
Do you often blow up your fiancés?
However, 10 years ago, before we could be wed,
Legit question. I'd like an answer. This is in character. You're just laughing at the vampire's face. No, 100%.
I have a feeling this has happened before, to where Darius has just been serious and directive, and he hears something, and he's like, "Oh my god,
Oh
what
my
the hell did
God.
you just say?"
Did you just ruin this whole conversation?
nobody said that I blew up her.
You said she was the target, and
No.
you didn't blow her up.
The old man was the target.
Oh, I'm totally confused because I thought you said
You did say
it was his wife that was the target.
Xander, the man, he hid her from us for 10 years.
so. She's the
To
target of
protect her.
being taken.
So
So
you're
you
upset
you
that
wanted to kidnap your fiancé.
If I may finish, she ran away and hid from us. The old man used heavy enchantments to keep our spies in the area unaware of her presence. However, we are extremely sorry for the incursion that this has caused. This syndicate is we were simply just trying to punish someone who had stolen and hidden what belonged to us.
So how do you
However,
plan on apologizing?
We are willing to make sizable monetary donations to the Selesnya to make amends for the matter, as long as our involvement in it is kept secret.
How strong are the Orsov
What do you mean?
in this area? Like, if I were to take,
We're
money?
in their crypt.
You're
we
in-
take the money, and then 5 months later, I come back and kill him because he thinks women belong to him.
That's right.
You don't know where you are.
Yeah,
There's
that's
always
fine.
that.
I will find my way out, and I will find him again.
Okay.
So how strong are they?
A vampire?
Like, are you asking like
I'm
him
asking-
personally? Or are you asking like their?
I'm
the-
asking,
influence
are
of
they
their
a,
organization.
are they a vengeful group? If we come back and hurt them, are they very strong in the area?
The
Yes.
Mafia's fine.
Yeah.
Some mafias are stronger than others.
Well, I mean,
They're all
it's
vengeful.
they are all vengeful. All right, it's
But being vengeful and not powerful,
It
that's
depends.
the combo I
it
want.
depends.
I'm gonna roll to see where I feel my gut feeling.
in his left.
It's in my left foot.
It's not the strong
What does
foot.
that mean?
Uh,
I think that means one of two things: either we should be running, or we should be kicking ass.
I like it.
I'd
So
like,
as you're talking,
this
he
point-
motions to kind of one of the guards, and you see they're bringing in a young woman, who you appear to be, or you would assume probably is Kara.
Okay.
And then he motions like, "See, I have not hurt I only wanted to punish the traitor that hurt us."
insight.
Okay.
19. Did he actually hurt her?
Doesn't look like. No, she's in pristine condition. But you also feel like he's not telling the whole story. There's
yeah.
there's something
Yeah.
he's missing.
I give you the look, and then I look at like the door, like there's an open space behind this guy, and then I look back at you, and I look, and then I look down at my
But you
little
could
whip
tell
thing.
you could tell she's crying, like she's hurt because she lost her husband.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Say the
Okay.
word, and I have a whip that specifically distracts people, and then you can like run over.
Oh my gosh, yes.
While you're talking, like you see the woman is struggling with the guards, like trying to get
How
free.
many people are in this room?
3, the brother and 2 guards. Well, and then y'all.
Can I smell
One-
her fear?
I'd say it's palpable.
can smell your
She is not afraid. She is more angry than
She's
afraid.
angry. Okay.
1 second, I'm reading something really quick.
And like he's kind of droning on at this point, and he's like, "I've only wanted whatever is best for her. That's why we settled her debts with the family."
Then why is she so angry?
And then like, cause she, I don't know. Why don't you ask her?
I think that we might need to discuss between ourselves, make sure we're all on the same page. How about you tell us what you would be willing to donate to get this behind us, and
Why
then
don't you
let us
tell
discuss.
me what amount of donation would
What,
would
2
be
lives are worth?
Yes, to be blunt.
What is that? Like
I don't know.
That's-
I am very angry at this person.
20 silver? How's that? What is the normal?
It was 30 silver for 1 life.
30, right? Okay.
Is that according to
times-
the Boris Code?
So times
chapter
2,
3?
carry the.
So she starts to like she's struggling
Start with
some
a
more, and he
nothing.
just kind of like
Carry the nothing.
as you guys are starting to talk,
She's taken away.
yeah, he kind of like makes a motion,
Oh, hold on, we want to talk to her.
and then they start to leave. It's like you start hearing things. It's like, "You bastard!"
Hey, I haven't even met you, lady.
Oh boy.
So-
Not you, him.
Oh, so it doesn't
Ask
sound.
him what happened to my family.
So is
So
it now
how was
just
your
us
day?
in the room?
Hmm?
Now it's just us in the room with him?
You and the brother, yes.
All the
brother.
guards have left too.
Yeah, they were. One was holding like each arm.
Okay, so now we're alone with him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her family
4
on the
against
table?
1.
No,
That's not.
So what happened to her family?
We don't know. We didn't talk to her. She left the room.
No, I know. I'm asking the.
He's
vampire.
asking the vampire.
Oh.
We treated them right.
Is that like seasoning or?
And you see a big grin appear in his face where like one of his fangs starts showing.
Yeah.
Day gross. So you said you made a look at my face to make a distraction?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at you.
Okay. I say I have one less question. What's that over there? Whoosh, and I throw my distraction whip out.
I immediately, as he does the distraction, do disguise self and make myself look like him.
Okay.
You know that's only going to confuse us, right? Because he knows who he is.
No, you guys get him, and then I'll be him, and then we just get out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Get him quiet.
All right.
This is,
Take him
this
down.
is going to go real bad.
Go.
You guys do it.
I hide.
How about everybody do a?
I'm gonna Sarav and hide.
Roll initiative.
Let's get an initiative roll. I'll give him disadvantage on the initiative.
Okay.
Who?
The vampire.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because
gotcha.
he's distracted.
This guy's going to
I
hurt.
was like, who's getting?
You're coming with us.
We're gonna destroy this.
He's going to destroy us.
We're getting wrecked.
10. I rolled like crap.
I also rolled
Holy
like crap.
hell!
Apparently, I need another dice. That one is not working.
All right.
Grit.
Phil.
Yeah.
So you 20'd?
I 20'd,
Okay.
which is
Does that mean-
officially a 23.
Does that mean he gets a narrative effect?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Chris, what'd you get?
10.
10. Corey.
7.
7. Jimmy.
16.
16. All right. I'll give you one action, either a move or a thing, if you want to.
Take a thing.
I'll take a thing.
Like, if you were wanting to hide.
Yes, I'm just gonna hide.
Okay.
Your one action is to run away, you coward.
Well, not like this is before your.
Bravely.
This is before your initiative round. So.
He saw the distraction coming, and he went specifically behind the guy. He's like, oh, now he's gone. We all look around, and there's like curtains on the dark stone walls, and then one has a lump sticking out of it. 2 feet. They'll never see me
All
back
right.
here.
Turns out they're also
So
sheer,
what'd
apparently.
you roll for your stealth?
I did not roll stealth. I rolled a
3.
27.
All right, you're hidden,
In
and
the
you're
middle
going.
of a friggin' room.
You're going first.
Okay. Since my idiot compatriots have
All I did was show him this sparkly thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't attacked him.
We can still do all kinds of stuff.
I will I am going to go down the hallway after Kara.
Okay.
And now we have one less. Okay.
Okay.
Who's next?
Well, I mean, that was you can move because what's your move's like 30 feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're up near the guards, so they don't see you.
You
so
double
okay.
move.
Well, no. I'm saying they're close enough that a move action.
He doesn't have to double dash.
So he
Right.
could, if he wanted to do something else.
I will. See, and I put the book away. It's easier just to cast Detect Thoughts on Kara.
Okay. Hold on. Her thoughts, or so wait. What does Detect Thoughts do again?
Yeah,
Does it just
Detect
read her?
I put it away. 'cause
Basically,
it's dumb.
she's pissed. She's just really pissed because it turns out they served her family as part of what was they killed them and prepped them for like the wedding feast,
Oh.
Oh, tasty.
Great.
and that was kind of the final straw that made her run away.
Okay.
That was the final straw. I feel like there was something that probably
So this
led up to
happened
that.
significantly long ago.
Yeah, this was 10 years ago.
Ah. Okay.
Arranged marriages. What do you say?
Mm.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I.
Who's next?
So I know
Oh.
that now.
How
But
many
that's
guard-
just your
how-
action. You're
how
just
many guards
staying
are
in the
there?
hidden.
Is it one or two?
Two guards.
Two.
2 guards. Yeah, that was my action. I cast it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
How
yeah.
burly are these guards? They look like lower level.
They're
thugs.
armored dudes.
So they don't look like lower level thugs.
They
Well,
could be.
we don't know. They could be 3 gnomes in a suit of armor.
Yeah. Jimmy, you're next.
Oh, that's a good point. They
Okay.
could split. Be like a transformer.
What is Brother Matthias wearing?
He is wearing
Fangs.
And that's it.
he is wearing elegant robes.
Elegant robes. Okay.
Turn it into snakes.
Snicks. Let's see
That way
here.
he can get snicked.
We really want him to be quiet, right? I mean, but I don't have anything that's gonna make him quiet. I think
You might want to
I
immobilize
will-
him, or
Hmm.
this guy may not be an inch. He's not. He's probably not going to be a pushover.
Yeah.
You should. We either need to attack him and get it over with, or
You know what? I am going to cast Moonbeam,
Moonbeam.
and it is.
Oh man, I have a question. If he casts Moonbeam on me, does it superpower me?
No.
Heck yes.
It's probably bad for you. It keeps you in your original form, like you're.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah. So
I like moons.
this is a 5-foot cylinder. I'm going to cast it directly on him. He needs to make a Constitution saving
you.
throw,
Okay.
and if he is a shape changer, he makes it with disadvantage.
Okay. All right. He is not a shapeshifter.
Okay.
Vampires are not exactly like your standard vampires in Ravnica.
Okay.
Like sunlight does not kill them.
Okay.
So,
but it brings forth their pale complexion.
yeah.
So
This
socially,
is
it may
this
kill
is
them.
a DC 15, by the way.
All right. DC
Constitution.
15 Constitution.
Yeah.
He passed.
Okay, great.
It's not a good sign.
Let's see here. I need to see what it must make a Constitution saving. Okay, half as much of a 2d10.
Okay.
So that's 9. That's another 9. So 9 damage.
All right.
It's radiant damage.
Radiant damage.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a silvery beam of pale light. 40-foot high, 5-foot radius cylinder. Oh, 5-foot radius. Okay. Yep. It's engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain. Anyway, that's it. And I move, to be the farthest away I can.
Okay. You hear him scream. You hear him growl more. And
Yes.
it's, you ignorant pheasants.
I say, pheasants.
Pheasants.
You are under arrest by Selesnian Code Chapter 7.
Eating
Um,
people dash
Eating people.
torture
Torture.
point.
Also, conspiracy to commit
Kidnapping.
terrorism and kidnapping, and actually committing terrorism and kidnapping.
Adultricide.
Adultricide.
And
I don't know what that is.
conspiracy.
Patricide. Matricide. No, that would be your own
Fratricide.
father. Or
And
mother.
for eating your own father-in-law.
That's right.
You see his eyes go black, and then he gets real deep, and he's like, "Your puny law has no standing on Orsov.
Stop
You
resisting.
do not resist. You cannot understand our cause." All of a sudden, all the lights in the area go out. I know some of you have dark vision, but
I
it
do.
distracts you enough. But they only go for a second, and then they come back on, and he's gone.
Oh no.
All of a sudden,
Quick, catch all the bats in the room.
no, because I said he wasn't a shapeshifter.
Ah, that's true. You did.
You never said he wasn't 100 tiny bats
Well,
under that
Yeah.
So much for
And
my
then-
That's his natural
moonbeam.
shape.
Yep. And then Jimmy,
Yes.
you suddenly feel like a whoosh of air behind you,
Oh, whoosh.
and I need you to, or what is your AC?
It is probably low. Let's see here. 14.
14. All right.
Just say the number. No laughing.
He crit.
That's
Of
fine.
course he did.
Crit hit. All of a sudden, he grabs you and fangs just into you.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Damn fangers.
You take 7 piercing damage and 7 necrotic damage.
Okay.
That fang, that fang, that fang.
Now I need you to succeed on a DC 15 Charisma saving throw.
DC 15 charisma. Okay. 17.
17. All right. So you feel like he is trying to like almost seduce you, sort of, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But you can like you get that kind of like a thought of like, this guy's not so bad. Wait a minute, what am I thinking
Wait
about?
a minute, he's under arrest.
Also, your maximum hit points go down by
No
the,
love bites
by
for
the
me.
7. Your max hit points go down by 7. Not your actual hit points, but your max hit
Oh,
points.
I understand.
Well, your actual as well.
Well, they did already, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
in addition.
Right.
When you heal.
Yes. Max HP modifier.
How long does that effect last?
Long rest.
Okay.
It just means if someone were to heal him right now.
Right.
All right.
Alrighty.
Then so you're all probably. Then he pulls out a rapier and makes a swipe at Corey.
Come at me, bro.
But he crit failed.
Ha ha.
So
Stabbed
what
himself.
happened?
I'll remove his weapon.
He stabbed Jimmy again.
Remove his
so
fangs.
wait, I'm dressed up as him.
You are,
yes.
actually.
He dropped his weapon and I picked it up.
Okay.
Now I look like him
Okay.
Nice.
With a weapon.
with a
All
weapon.
right. He's gonna. Then Chris,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
Oh, okay. I am going to. I'm going to draw my sword. I am going to take and run my hand down the side of it, and fire is going to ignite across it.
Nice.
Oh, yo.
And then I am going to
Fire.
charge at him.
Okay.
Fire and blood.
Stabby, stabby, stabby.
From Last Witch Hunter.
Yep. He looks like Vin Diesel.
All right, let's see.
Corey, you're on deck, by the way.
I'm on deck. Yep.
10 versus AC.
10 versus AC.
That's
You
got to do it.
miss.
Yeah,
He's got
of course
fire.
Of course I did.
Remember, you have inspiration.
Oh, I do. Can I use that?
Just
Yeah.
use it.
All right.
You all have
Roll-
inspiration once at
Roll
least.
better, though.
Do it.
13. Didn't roll that much better.
Still miss.
All right.
That was better.
Oh, that's better. Okay, so that is 21
So wait, what'd you roll the second time for?
Second attack.
to attack.
Extra attack.
Oh, okay. Yes, that hits.
Okay, so that is...
Remember, with inspiration, you can also give it to other people.
No, not anymore. I
See,
just
we
used
gotta
it.
Well,
We-
if you don't use it.
we got to play that out narratively, Chris. See, you were doing like swipes and everything, and he kept blocking, and then all of a sudden you could tell he was just doing the same blocking pattern. So you're just like, oh,
no, I feel
Dummy's
like
gonna go left.
I feel like that he just tried to attack normally, and then he was blocking it, and that's when the fire kicked in.
Ah,
Like, was the inspiration piece.
All right. Okay, so that is 10 damage,
Okay.
plus... hold on, let me figure out where'd that extra damage go?
plus 94
I do
fire damage.
I do fire damage to him, too.
Okay.
I'll tell you in a minute. Just go on to that.
Okay. Corey.
But it is
Okay.
fire damage, so
Yes.
he burns a little.
So
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
you
s-
hear him.
I'm gonna start.
My fire!
But is anyone super close to him?
Oh, I am now. I got
Jimmy
my sword
is
stuck
close
in
to
him.
him.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up as close as I can to him and spit acid directly on his face.
Okay.
So that's my first attack.
Don't crit fail. Don't crit fail.
I don't have to roll for it. It just says, as an action, you can spray a stream of acid from your mouth targeting one creature or object you see within 30 feet that deals 2d10 acid
Oh.
damage. Because someone experimented on my body and put weird things in it.
Never mind.
Yeah.
83.
And I get because this is my first action in a combat and I made it a fight, I get to add 1d8. So that is 16 damage.
All right.
That was my first thing. And then I will use my second action to hit him with a crossbow.
How much was it total?
16 damage.
Okay.
Acid damage. Not that that does anything special to a vampire, probably.
Right,
It might. Who
Ravnica.
knows? Maybe he's acid damage.
In the wild world of Ravnica.
Ooh, yay. Yay. Okay. Cool. Let me go my actions. Okay, so with the crossbow, that is a...
And you're allowed to do crossbow in melee, right?
Yep. 27.
That's a hit.
Cool. 1d10 plus 3. Oh, wait, but it's my second attack, so we good. 12.
12 damage.
Yes.
All right.
I feel like you spit acid in his face. You walked up real close, spit acid in his face, pulled out your crossbow, put it in his mouth.
Yep. And
Okay.
shot. And then I'm
He's
gonna...
kind of grabbing his eyes and like stumbling back a little bit.
Cool.
And then Philip, it's over to you.
Okay. What are these guards doing? Their
So-
master screamed. They're still dragging her away.
We'll say that hasn't necessarily. This is you've
Travel
got
down the hallway.
yeah,
yet?
you've got like this is like your last action before they realize what's up.
Okay. I will. How wide of a net is sleep?
Ooh.
Wide enough.
Wide enough?
It'll be you won't get the master.
I can
but
look
you'll
it up
get-
here.
You'll get the 3 of them.
Yeah, I cast sleep on all 3 of them.
Okay.
Wait,
All right.
did I do
I'm
anything
just
for
gonna
that?
let them all
Okay.
3 of them collapse.
Boom. They collapse. Is there any feeling of which way this hall was going?
You're not just going to coup de grace them.
The hallway
that
that
too.
they went down, it was
Yes.
back in the cellar or back in the crypt where you were,
It was back in the crypt.
and you don't see another exit.
I would.
Like they were going down the hallway you came from.
Okay. I'm going to leave her. I'm gonna throw them in a cell,
Okay.
and I'll check them for the keys to the cell.
Okay.
That's. You want me to roll for that?
No, because
Brilliant.
they're asleep.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I will say you do find. In addition, you find some money.
All right.
You find about 30 gold pieces,
30 gold.
and
I'm so
yes, you find the
rich.
keys.
All right. Seriously, pen? There we go.
And do a perception check.
Doing a perception check, which I have expertise in.
3 fire damage. Sorry that took so long.
Nice.
Jeremy, Chris.
Perception is
Hmm?
3 fire damage.
3 fire damage.
Yeah, I owed you that number. Sorry.
17.
17. Something shiny catches your eye in the corner of the cell where you're at.
Ooh. I go to look at it.
There is a what looks like the burned up carcass of a goblin
Okay.
holding some sort of weapon.
I take the weapon.
You don't know what it is, but it does look like whatever's powering it is burnt out and not working.
That's fine. It's mine now. So I will I'm gonna leave her where I'm gonna leave her where she is. I've locked those guys in the cell. I now have this weapon with a question mark.
You just leave it with the woman.
Yeah, sure, I'll leave it with her. She can wake up and defend herself. And I will then
It's not exactly a stealthy object.
That's fine. And I will then walk toward where this ruckus.
Okay. Jimmy.
Yes. So his bite broke my concentration on the moonbeam, unfortunately. So I will. So I'm still in engaged range with him, aren't I?
Yes.
So if I move away, he could attack me.
Well, you can do a disengage.
Yes, but then I wouldn't be able to do anything. How about I will do poison spray. I will extend my hand towards a creature I can see within range.
Hello, Papa Pit
and
Pat.
project a puff of noxious gas.
Hello.
So yes, I will point at him. Say
You said acid spray? Is that what that
poison
was? Poison spray.
How effective is poison on undead?
I don't know.
Who knows?
What type of damage? Is it poison
Okay.
damage?
Poison damage.
Poison damage?
Yes.
Okay.
I swear if that heals him.
All right. How much? So is it? Do I need to roll against or anything?
Yes, Constitution.
Constitution
against
save throw?
15.
All right. He
Passed.
he passed
Yeah, all right.
that word. You know the word.
He pulls a cartoon where they put the pie on the
All
counter.
right, so he doesn't take any damage, and
and I wasted a spell slot.
I
Jimmy keeps trying Constitution say things.
it wasn't a spell slot, unfortunately. Anyway, I will simply move away from him 25 feet. What will he do?
Also, so again, the lights go out. This time, Corey, you feel a brush of air behind you.
Imposter.
Duck.
A whoosh, if you will.
Yep. And you feel him, or he goes to strike you. What's your AC?
Sorry, I'm looking for it.
So my sword's on fire. Are we getting some light out of that?
Yes, but like I said, you can see in there anyways, but it's
Yeah.
more of like a flash kind of thing
Okay.
where it's more of a distraction.
It's a flash of darkness, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
14.
14.
Let me know if I need to throw my distracting whip to anybody.
Of course.
All right, so he strikes you and hits you
Okay.
and manages I need you to do a strength saving throw.
Beautiful. What does inspiration do? It just-
Inspiration
advantage.
gives you advantage.
Let
I'm
you
gonna
roll
use
again.
my inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I got a 12.
You got a 12. He manages to grab the sword away from you. And
My sword.
Guards!
God.
and
sword
you
back.
take 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Sorry, just responding to a
No worries. I'm doing my D&D Beyond hit point counter.
Mm-hmm. I do like these D&D Beyond character sheets.
Yes.
All right. Then now that he has his sword back, he's gonna whip it around and then try and slash it against you.
Never.
So
Corey.
you said you were 14?
Against Corey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 14.
Okay. He hits again. You take 8 piercing damage this time,
Great.
and then he kind of like flies around and then goes to attack you this time, Chris.
Do it.
What's your AC?
16, unless you get close.
He fails.
Can't
So
touch this.
then, Chris, it's over to you.
How does he look? Injured much?
Oh, he's definitely, he's bleeding is not the word. Weaker.
Wait, okay.
He
Trying
has
to
been
determine
damaged.
Trying to
Bedraggled?
determine whether or not it's worth shifting.
Mhm.
Like, do I think this fight is just beginning, or do I think this fight is coming closer to an
He
end?
doesn't look like on the edge of second death.
Glory.
It's weird. I'm trying to figure out, like, for a vampire, what is
Yeah.
like he's hurt, but he's not crippled yet.
Okay. I am going to. You know what? I'm just going to attack him.
Okay.
Forget it. 21.
21 is a hit.
All right. I'm just going to roll second attack. And that's a miss. Okay. 2. So 6 damage.
6 damage.
Yep.
What type of damage?
I believe it's
This is with your
slicing.
flaming sword.
Piercing.
though. This is-
This is the rapier, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then an additional 3 fire damage.
Okay. All right. Corey,
Yep. What does he look like now?
what do you mean?
Like, does he look way more hurt, or is he limping? What's he look like?
He
Just-
looks like he took about what was that?
Did it-
9 points of damage.
Yeah.
He looks like he took about 9 points of damage,
Approximately.
approximately.
Just hit him hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him hard. Okay. 1. Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? Why not? Let's do this one more time. I'm gonna just acid him in the face again.
Okay.
Oh, just you see my gross acid glands swell
Wait,
up.
isn't there like a frog that does that? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what she's like. It's
My
like
yeah, it looks disgusting. It's embarrassing. I don't want people to look at me. My throat swells up and then just like gets smaller.
Okay.
17 acid damage to the face.
There you
Is
go.
that? I don't roll a save against that or anything,
It doesn't
right?
say so. It just says as an action, I do it.
Okay.
I guess it's acid magic missile.
I can only do it 3 times per long rest,
Mm.
and then
That's
Okay.
pretty good if it's
You
an
said-
auto
Yeah.
hit.
17 though.
17. I can double check it, but
You're fine.
so that is my action, and then I'm going to. No, never mind. I don't think I can do that. Because you can't do if you have 2 attacks, you can't use one for a spell and one for a fighty attack, can you?
No.
I don't
No.
think so. Yeah.
A-
Okay.
Attack is you attack twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Is
have
he
to take
dead?
the attack
Is he
command.
dead from
No.
my acid?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I will.
He's pretty injured at this point, but he's still alive.
Okay. Can I hear the
Alive.
Does your acid react with my fire?
Yo? We should team up.
Yeah.
You should set my acid spit on fire
That's
as
right.
it's coming towards people. I'll
Flaming snot fire tech.
I'll shoot him one more time.
It's like you're holding the lighter up and she shoots the spit through it.
Are you able to shoot him one more time? I thought you said your action was the.
I have 2 attacks, but I was going to do a spell and the spitty.
How do you have 2 attacks?
Because
you have the extra
I'm a
attack
level
action
5.
as well.
I get a second attack action.
I thought that was just the attack action. Is that 2? Can you cast 2 spells? I've never.
This isn't a spell.
Well, no,
Acid isn't a spell.
But it takes the action.
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I cheated last time.
The ability is the action.
Yeah.
It's just when you do the attack action,
You get 2 hits.
you get 2 hits. Or
Okay.
two rolls, basically.
Okay. Well, then I cheated last time, so you can take
Okay.
those off.
You didn't do much damage on the second one.
No.
So
He
the
was like,
first
"Yeah,
one,
whatever."
the first thing you did was the one that did the most. So, Phil.
Okay, so I locked the guys in the cell. I left her there. I walked back up to, I made my way back up the hallway. I see a ruckus happening.
Mhm.
What all have I seen? Like I've seen everyone going in, getting their hits.
You walk up right as you see one version of the vampire start spitting on the other version of the vampire.
Okay. Well, this just got weird, and I don't know.
Well, you did see her change before you left.
I did see her change. That's right. But I don't know if I'm 100% certain that all vampires can't shoot acid out of their mouths.
Well, they all also are, like, the 2 of them are both circling the other one.
Yes. So, gotcha.
You
All
can
right.
look and see who I'm facing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like, everyone is facing one of them, and one of them is facing, like,
It's a trick.
Corey at this point.
Hi.
do I have? So I want to put. I want to put an end to this because this is getting out of hand. I would like to run back, grab the girl, bring her up here, and threaten to kill her.
Oh, jeez.
While she's asleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a weekend at Bernie's.
No, I'm just gonna like hold her up and put my rapier on her throat.
Right, but is she awake for this?
No, she's asleep.
Oh, okay.
So just for an extra attack clarification, so like attacking with one hand and the other is an attack, and then the bonus is your second hand.
yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So for an extra attack action, you would, because
You
my
would get 2 main hand attacks and 1 bonus attack.
yeah. So with my acid spit, that's still an attack action.
Yes.
So I would be able to spit and then shoot.
No. Because your offhand attack
Is a bonus.
it's a bonus but tied to the attack action,
The attack
isn't it?
action.
Well, is your crossbow a one-handed weapon?
No.
That's,
not this
we
one.
will look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
that's-
acid attack is more of
ultimately,
like
it's up
a-
to Chris.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Chris wants to play it that way.
I mean, if
that's
it sounds
fine.
cool, we
Your
normally go
acid
with it.
attack is more of like a feature as opposed to the
Gotcha.
attack action.
Yeah.
So
That's the
But
way.
just to
That's the
make
way I've
sure-
been interpreting it. Is
Yeah.
it's you're not technically taking the attack action.
But I wouldn't be cheating if I shot twice, because that's
Correct.
my extra attack.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I
Because-
wasn't always cheating.
No,
Right.
no. Because it's a baseline attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Makes
know,
sense.
we can choose the different things that we can do. If you're choosing attack, the word attack, right?
Yeah.
For a base shoot or base
Yep.
stab, right?
Caveat that if somebody
that
writes in
times
and
two.
it's like, technically, if you look in the book, that's probably.
Yeah.
But we will.
That's fine.
That's
I
why we're
just-
gonna play it for the next little bit.
I just wanted to make sure that extra attack wasn't bonus attack offhand, and that I just for some reason have been playing wrong forever.
Right.
Okay. Good. Cool.
Okay. So Phil's going to grab her.
Yes.
I'm going to say that because she was still in the hallway.
She was still in the
so-
hallway. I want to say it takes me like a full turn to go grab her and drag her to the door.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like you're kind of like at the door.
Yep.
Sort of thing.
I now am at the door with her.
All right, Jimmy, you
I
can
am-
see Philip with the woman now, kind of like draped over his, like you've kind of got her like
Mhm.
up against your shoulder, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to continue attacking the vampire,
Okay.
specifically the enemy one.
with another
And-
Constitution-based attack, right?
No, not this one. This one is produce flame. I produce a fireball in my hand, and I say, I regret the carbon output that this spell produces. And I hurl a fireball. It's not fireball. It's called produce flame.
Okay.
Anyway, I must make a spell attack against the vampire.
Is it ironic that Bear Grylls is chucking a fireball?
Yep.
Yep.
Only you can prevent forest fires or start them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I rolled a 16.
16 is a hit.
Nice. Okay, so 2d8.
You start calling him Smokey the Bear Grylls.
There you go.
All right. 1.
I hope he doesn't get excited and then he's
4
Bear Thrills.
damage.
4 damage.
4 fire damage.
Woohoo, all
All
right.
All right, I don't need your patronizing.
It dinks into the guy's chest, and you hear it like dink. And you're like, it's level 1. Leave me alone.
It's a cantrip.
Or is it a can't trip?
Ah. So now, Brother Matthias is going to whip around, and let's see, you're probably close to it. No, Corey
Yeah.
spit in, trying to figure out who's probably
Corey's
closer.
been lighting him up in the face.
Yeah. So Corey is going. He's going to swipe at you with his sword.
You
Whatever.
you
That's
want-
my sword.
You want him to hit me, people. Let me tank him.
Yep.
What's
Jump
your
in the
what's
way.
your AC?
14.
He misses. However, after that, he kind of he does his vanishing act again. This time, he appears next to you, Philip,
Okay.
and he goes to strike you this time, but almost like he's like striking, but also trying to throw you kind of out of the way. And then, so what's your AC?
My AC is 14.
Okay. He hits you. So I need you to do a dexterity saving throw. But you do take 7 damage in the process.
So Dex is good. Dex is a 21.
21. So he goes to he hits you and tries to kind of recoil to throw you, throw you. But you manage to you get the hit, but then you kind of move into it a little bit so that when he comes back around that you are not there.
Gotcha.
So, and then it is over to Chris.
Okay, I'll attack some more.
This
Now
is
he's a
fun.
little bit further away now because now he's on the other side of the room. So you are
Okay.
no longer in melee range.
I will walk over and then be in melee range.
Okay.
All right.
Gosh, Mr. Rules lawyer over there.
So that is 24.
24 is a hit.
All right. Second one is a crit.
Nice.
All
Heck
right.
yeah.
First attack is nice. 13 damage
All right.
plus 1 fire damage.
All right.
Second one is 6. 17 damage.
Total or in addition?
In addition,
Okay.
and 1 fire damage.
Nice.
Fire. I feel
So
like
you
that's
go
good.
to slash him with the first attack,
Mhm.
and he kind of arches back and is screaming in pain. And then you go upwards with the next one and catch him right through the throat,
I like it.
through the back of the throat. So Philip, you just see all of a sudden this sword just go right through his
And
neck.
it's right here.
yeah,
So it comes through, and then you see me give a sharp twist, and it goes right off the side.
yeah.
Ugh.
And then you just see flop, flop, flop as his head goes rolling off to the side, and then the body goes
Still
limp.
gotta
and falls.
take his heart.
So does he turn to dust? What does he do?
What do Ravnik a vampire?
Makes-
I don't
Yeah.
know what Ravnica Well,
Makes gross gurgling noises.
we're gonna say no dust. The lifeless body goes more lifeless.
Well, how clean? No dust.
Can
I pick up the head, I hold it next to Corey. Likeness is pretty good.
Thanks. I've been working on this spell a lot. Is Kara sleeping in the room? Is that what we see?
As I'm standing there holding her with my rapier at her neck.
You killed her, Visker?
No.
Wait.
No, she's not.
He
dead
was
yet.
threatening.
She looks
He was
dead.
going to threaten to kill her.
Visker, that was so convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I totally wasn't gonna kill her.
I'm glad. I guess we can bring her back.
Yeah.
Where were the guards?
Huh?
Guards.
What guards?
I like how you think.
Yeah.
We think this.
Here they are, guys. They're down the hall.
this
You didn't go down the hall.
the vampire. We think he gonna come back. Do Ravnica come back?
So I take my sword and I'm just like sticking it in the rest of his body. I don't know. He seems pretty dead.
Are you making sure it's on fire, trying to burn the whole
Actually,
thing?
can I?
Because I mean, if he do come back though, we could bring just like his body.
How about that? Yeah, like when
When
your fire sword pierces through again the now lifeless, then it crumbles to dust.
Okay.
I was gonna say I can make a roll to recall information about fae, fiends, and undead.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Gonna do that?
So at this point,
Or I
well,
guess it doesn't
he's
really matter.
dusted at this point, and
He told me
just his clothes, his cloak, and stuff is what's left.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I take some of the dust and I put it into a small vial. And
Yeah.
I put it.
All
in my
right.
belt.
Nice.
Because in 5e they come back from the dust, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that if
This is Chris's game. Is
Yeah.
he coming
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
No, he's not coming back.
All right, he's dead.
He's dead.
He's
dead.
dead this time.
oh well,
He's dead again.
If they can, this one can't.
maybe should we grab one of the guards so that they can be interrogated and tried for crimes?
yes.
I mean, well, you're
High
a grown adult member of the Briar Shield. You can do whatever you want.
I'd like to do that.
Visker, are you gonna take any of this?
What's that?
You gonna take any of this?
Of the dust?
Yeah, it's vampire dust. You know what you do with vampire dust, right?
You
Snort
and get high.
I mean, you saw that aphrodisiac thing they just tried on the other ones. That works with the dust.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I don't really need that stuff.
Ew.
It's all right.
So vampire dust is the
That's the Viagra of Ravnica.
no, I wasn't
Oh,
thinking
no.
that one.
Yeah, it sells for a high price.
Side note, out of game, but the acid spit is not correct in D&D Beyond. It is a deck save. So gonna have
I'd like it better the other way.
I mean, it's
Where it's
still
just idle.
it's a pretty high deck save. I don't know
Nice.
if you would have hit it, but
I don't know. He gets.
He's a vampire.
He
He's
gets
a
a plus
vampire.
7 to his dexterity.
You might have hit it.
Plus 7.
What was
His
his?
Constitution was a plus 6.
What was his dump
Oh,
stat?
okay.
Wisdom.
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 Yeah, I figured.
Yep.
Damn vampires.
Okay,
Unwise
so
vampires.
our goals.
Uh-huh. Well, now we got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I get another vial.
I got keys.
I'm gonna
You
sell
got
this
keys?
stuff.
I got keys.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. Wait. So in this room, anything cool? Anything we need? Books, diaries.
I mean, there's plenty of things potentially in this room.
Evidence.
I'd like to do a search for evidence. Just kidding.
Anything to identify the dead body on the table.
Yes.
Signet ring, necklace.
Nothing. It was a
Okay.
nobody.
This
Gotcha.
was
So
this
there was nothing. It was nondescript.
This was a high class guy, right?
Yes.
All
well,
right.
potentially.
I take that wine he opened.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
blood wine.
Oh, is it blood?
Hmm?
It's less dangerous.
Doesn't
if
it
it's blood.
smells like wine.
It'd
Okay.
be more useful to you as blood, right?
Y'all.
Or do you have to be your own blood?
So,
Aren't you a blood thing?
Oh yeah, I have to use my own.
Oh, dang.
so
It's a good point. I extinguish my flame.
you guys just killed a made man in the Orzhov Syndicate.
Yep.
Yeah,
You helped.
but we got wine.
I didn't help.
You were here.
That's true. He did nothing.
My
Wait.
hands are clean in all of this.
Well, keep in mind you all you have you have testimonies from, from that there was a Orsov or there was a person in a cloak who you could probably assume to be Orsov. You've also got the note from the Demir, that
And we've got the girl.
and you got the girl.
And she's alive.
She's alive.
Hold on, guys. I got this. So I walk over around the corner. I get one of the guards, right?
Okay.
And then I drag him back next to the pile of ash, and I take his sword.
How?
Hold on.
Well, he's locked in a cell.
Oh, you locked him in a cell. I missed that part.
Can you get
I
him
was
out?
gonna leave him sleeping next to the pile and put like the sword in the ash.
Yeah.
It just completely frame him.
Or like you could take the guy for questioning,
Take what guy?
one of the guards,
Oh,
or
well,
both the guards.
That was less fun than framing him.
We could frame one guard and take the other guard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I'll dress up as the guy, and then I'll be
Lead
like,
the guards out.
And then we can ask you questions.
Well, like I'll
Saves
ask,
us all
I'll ask
carrying
him
these guys
questions,
around.
and then I'll ask him questions, and he'll answer them because he thinks.
Or you could call,
Actually,
you can call the cat dispatch.
Hey,
Yes.
cat dispatch, how do we get out?
You could request, like you're in a Boros thing. You've got like a signet basically. You could request transport basically
Yeah.
to take him to the nearest facility.
I do kind of like Corey's idea though. If you dress up as vampire dude and the other guys are locked in, you can walk in and be like, "This is what you guys get for letting these people go," and then get information out of them that way.
What information do you want to get?
How I get out of here? Why did
There's-
we,
Oh, we just
And
go up the
why
stairs.
did we
Stairs.
why did we steal these people? What is the whole plan? But in a nicer, better
You
way.
killed the guy that knew the whole plan.
Yeah.
I know, but
So
these
in the
guys-
room you're at, there's a couple of different
the womb?
hallways.
in
One,
the womb I'm
the
at.
room,
The womb I'm at.
the room you're at. There's a couple of hallways. One appears to kind of go up to. One appears to go up, and one appears to kind of go what might be a street entrance.
Cool. Is there anything in the casket?
Nah,
Not
blankets,
anymore.
Blankets.
Do we want to check the rest of those